Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Players Take episode 320. I'm your host, Justin DeSimone, joined, as always, by my co-host, Montrell Rice. Montrell, how are you this week? Did your Lions have a good draft?
I didn't even watch the draft, man.
Do you even know
I
who
don't
they
watch
drafted?
No, I didn't. I don't watch the draft. I just let it fly.
They
Hopefully get
drafted
somebody
a
good.
guy. They drafted a guy named Tesla.
Oh, great.
His name is Isaac. I think it's actually Tesla. But it's spelled Tesla. So there's two A's. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, his nickname's gonna be Tesla for sure. At least for me, it will. So yeah, it's fun. Their first round pick. Let's see, it was a defensive guy, I think. Come on. Tyleek Williams. Yeah. First round pick. Yeah. That was a nice pick. Everybody was pretty excited about it. Very very Lionsy pick. To quote one of my favorite podcasts. But yeah, I think they had a pretty good draft actually. I think they're in good position to continue to be strong in the league. So that's fun. What about what else is going on in your life? You having a better week this week?
Yeah, I mean, I got my promotion, like I said. So
Yes, sir. Congrats.
now they're already trying to send me off on like fucking conferences and stuff to learn different things. So,
Do you have a different boss now?
no,
Or
I mean, well, I have. So I was under my one boss, whose boss. I'm reporting directly to my boss's boss now. If that makes any sense. I'm not on her team. I'm on his team now. If that makes any sense.
okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because he's over all the system admins, all the
Yeah.
like miscellaneous IT stuff. So like we have a BI analyst, we have an AI guy, and then we have we have three system admins, but we're about to have two now, and that's who I am. I'm directly under him, and then my boss reports to him, and she's over the field techs and stuff like that. So
Okay. Gotcha. Well, congrats, sir. That's great. Great news.
yeah, I'm pretty happy. Like I don't know if I mentioned it like last time. I don't want to harp on it too longer. But I did go to a conference last year. I went to the CrowdStrike conference,
Yeah.
and I was very surprised at how many people do not like help desk.
Yeah.
Like have no respect for help desk. It doesn't matter what level you're at, like 1, 2, or 3. Um, the amount of people that were just like kind of talking a lot of vitriol about him was kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Until like I went to one panel in there, and the guy was pretty much defending like the help desk people and were like, hey, like we got to train these people up, and the reason why you guys don't like them because you don't train them and all this other stuff like that and all this shit. So I really do approach things from a ground up perspective, and he kind of did that as well.
Yeah.
I like the way he was talking about it, but yeah, like I was just talking to people and stuff like that, and yeah, not too many people respect help desk, man, or just IT. Like I guess our version of IT,
Mm-hmm.
even like yeah, they just don't respect it at all. I don't know, it's kind of weird to me.
It is weird. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's actually it's almost funny because there's like a level of ignorance there that like we protect them from having to do the work we're doing, like literally.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if we weren't there, all the shit we're doing would go to them.
Exactly.
It's like
Yeah.
it's just like I don't know that it's people like that. If there are people like that in IT, like I don't want to work with them.
Yeah, it was a lot of them at that conference. I mean,
Yeah,
even
it's
like
ugly,
system
dude.
admins, because like system admins don't consider themselves that, even though I think they are a level of
They
that.
definitely are. They definitely
Yeah,
are. They're lying to themselves.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was a lot of system admins. It was a lot of network engineers, who I think is another variation of help desk, in my opinion. We're just not People are just not calling you directly for what's going on, but when shit goes wrong, you are the person that has to fix the problem as far as the network.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was just a weird thing, a weird separation. Now, there were people there who were like cybersecurity and coders and stuff like that. And I think, and no offense to anybody who's cybersecurity, I just think cybersecurity people have an inflated sense of ego because they do cybersecurity. But a lot of them, when I was out there, didn't actually do like the groundwork first, which I think is like crucial for any thing of IT. You need to
Mhm.
do like help desk, and you need to understand why people click on these emails. You know, you interact with them every day and stuff like that. It's not just simple as like, oh, cybersecurity and you know all the background stuff and all the pen testing and everything of that nature. And I understand that all that stuff is cool and everything, but I don't know. I think a lot of people who do
I think a
cybersecurity
lot of that
should.
shit. I'm gonna be honest. I think a lot of that shit is like not that valuable. Personally, I don't, dude. Our pen
Don't say
testing this
something
shit.
that don't say something that get you crazy. Okay,
You're
don't say
right.
something
You
to
know,
get
you know
you.
what? You're right. I'll tell you off. I'll tell you off,
Okay.
Mike. I know.
Okay.
I don't want to get myself into hot water. I will tell you off, Mike. But yeah, it's no. I do think some of these things in the security realm, though, like it's like a placebo. It makes you feel like you're secure when in reality you're really not that secure. You know, at the end of the day, um, the ways that people would break in to a company I think are completely ignored, like at a practical level. You know, like educating users on phishing emails and shit like that. Like we don't do any of that stuff. You know, and I don't think a lot of organizations do. You know, at least in my
Well, that's what that
experience.
dude was talking about at the
So
panel, and he brought it back to like he was like, "That's why you guys are getting." He's like, "You guys can do all the pen testing and all the advanced shit that you want to do." And he literally said that. He's like, he said shit on stage, y'all. So
yeah,
it was crazy.
yeah,
Because he's a CIO,
hmm
one of the
hmm
small towns in Texas. I think it's Brownsville or something like that. Anyway,
yeah,
and he was talking about it. He was like, "Yeah, you guys have to train your users. They are your first line of defense." And your
yep.
help desk is like your second line of defense. You have to train these people to do stuff. It's not you just can't say, "Oh, you guys are idiots. Start clicking on the emails." Train them, educate them. You know, you know,
Yeah, right. Yeah,
uh, and do this stuff. He's like, because yeah, you are locking ports down. You're doing all the advanced shit and everything like that. But it takes nothing for somebody to just come in here and talk to somebody else, and then they get access to some shit, or or they call somebody and user answers the phone and something like that. Like all the social engineering or
yeah,
whatever. That's like the biggest threat. So I don't know. It was real eye opening. I think a lot of people, uh, at least from when I was coming from that conference, a lot of people came back. Um, they were just kind of in awe, like how I was actually kind of in awe how many people in cybersecurity just don't like computers. They're
yeah,
just doing it for the paycheck. Like they
yeah.
actually don't know computers. They're like, oh, I was, and no, I'm not to knock anybody hustle or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. Like I understand you want a career change and you're doing a career change or whatever.
Mhm.
Like oh, I was, maybe I was a mailman or maybe I was, uh, or even a CEO of, or like had a marketing degree or something like that, and I was making this much money in stock and stock market and shit. And then I became a cybersecurity person because that's more the money is in that now, It's like, so you're just not really doing it because you like computers and shit like that. Like I like this shit. So
Yeah,
obviously we play, mine stem from like video games and all the other shit like that. But other people have their own personal things of why they like computers. But
yeah, yeah,
uh I think the cybersecurity field, as far as that is gonna implode on itself. The bubble is gonna burst. There are gonna be too many people, and there's gonna be people that they just want experience now. They don't want, the degree. Now as of right now,
Well,
they're just
I
trying to get people in the door.
yeah.
But I can see it quickly fading out of
Well,
existence, if that
I
makes any
also
sense.
think I mean obviously you want a security team, right? But
Mhm.
I also think organizations may at some point come to the realization as the younger generation of people start taking over leadership roles may start to realize that the a heavy investment into cybersecurity is like with all the pen testing and this higher level stuff that you do, in the that world um isn't necessarily protecting you as much as you think it is, whereas like things like training and stuff, which you don't need cybersecurity people necessarily to do that kind of thing, I could see organizations cutting in that area. Honestly, I mean, you need a security team. Don't get me wrong. Like you
Oh yeah,
definitely do.
100%.
I just don't think you need a team doing all this shit all the time that's like not actually protecting your organization. You know, you can do because you can do pen testing all you want. You can do all these advanced things, you know, in terms of the way you design your environment and stuff like that. But there are always going to be vectors to attack ultimately, and you can't shore up every single hole. And if somebody, I feel like if a really high level hacker wants to get into your organization, they will. You know, I just like obviously you can't like approach it that way and not do anything, right? But at the same time, it's like I don't necessarily think investing more than you would in your more foundational teams, like your service desk or your you know, your tier 2 team or tier 3 team in terms of like operations and stuff. Like I feel like there's a lot of value in those teams that, at least in my experience, is not valued by organizations, I think it should be, you know.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
I think the worst thing that you can do for any organization is outsource your IT team. I think that's the one thing that should
Your
not be
operations
outsourced.
team, yes, I
Yeah,
totally agree.
yeah.
Um, you're not gonna get, and I mean I have direct experience with this now, so like I'm speaking from personal experience when I say this.
Hmm.
People who don't work for your company, I don't care what they're doing, are not going to care as much about your company as people who are actually employees. That is going to be almost universally true, like in almost any situation. Yes, there probably are exceptions to that, but in my experience, it's absolutely like contractors just do not care as much, you know, and
Yeah,
you do not want to put the fate of your company into those people's hands. They can supplement. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you can't outsource at all. They can certainly supplement, but you absolutely have got to have an internal team that is like your core of your support structure in operations. Otherwise, I just think you're setting yourself up for failure eventually. So,
yeah. I
and
agree.
yeah. So, all right, this isn't an IT podcast, but always good to have a little professional talk here, you know, at the beginning of the show. But yeah, for me, shoulders getting better, Montreal. We're getting there a little bit. I'm starting to get a little bit more like I'm hitting a new plateau, I feel like recently. Getting closer to be able to put my arm like straight into the air, like full extension. So we're getting there. And I started doing strengthening this week too. So I'm like doing some like weight um exercises and stuff at the physical therapist. Not doing anything at home yet, still doing range of motion at home, but um good that we're in a new phase. So, you know, that's nice.
Man,
I don't
anything
know. Yeah.
with this transition you to get into the gym, like you become like a gym bro, like me.
You know, I thought about that. So I actually don't mind the PT. I think my problem is the reason I don't exercise is not necessarily that I like hate it per se. I don't love it.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong, but I'm sure I
yeah. I
could
mean,
find exercises that I don't like openly hate, you know, doing.
yeah,
The issue is finding time to do it consistently enough where it actually matters, you know.
yeah.
Um
That is a big
like
barrier.
I can't do it twice a week. Like I need to do it not necessarily every single day, but probably more days in the week than I'm not doing it, you know. So that
I
would be
think
like four
people,
four or five, you know.
I think people overestimate that. So I think that's the biggest misconception.
Yeah.
Um, I don't. If you're just trying to lose weight, then
Hmm.
yes, maybe you know whatever. But if you're just trying to like bulk up and stuff like that, you can find a really good 3 day workout and just go
Yeah.
to the gym 3 days a week. You know, because
Yeah.
like the majority of your whether you're losing weight or you're trying to gain muscle or whatever you're trying to do. This is for anybody listening. Like the majority of your progress comes from your rest period. So you don't want to overwork your body. So you do want nice intervals. So if you want to do a 4 day week, that's cool, but just make sure you have a really good rest period in between that. So
Yeah.
like for me, I go Monday, Tuesday, and then I go Saturday because I have a Thursday and Friday are my rest days, like my
Yeah.
really good rest days.
Yeah.
So
Well, I actually agree with you now, and personal experience here, right? I'm not trying to bulk up, but right, I'm trying to get the strength of my shoulder back though, and the range of motion and everything. And you are
yeah,
totally right. Um, I'm doing the exercises every day, and that's what the physical therapist recommends. But it's not like you're doing fucking like an hour of exercises necessarily.
yeah.
Your the kind of intent is to just make sure you keep doing it, and that rest period does matter. That's where you like, it's very real, where I'll go 3 days where I feel like I don't make any progress. It's actually funny, the PT sessions, because they're 3 days apart, 3 or 4 days apart. I'm doing it
Yeah.
twice a week. Those are kind of my markers for progress generally. And it's funny, I tend to feel like when I go to the PT that I have made progress every single time I go.
Yeah.
So there is that. It is kind of like that rest period you're talking about. I think it's a similar concept, you know. But so yeah, I think for me though, it's the thing I've been trying to convince Amanda, I want to buy like some kind of machine for the house, like a treadmill or
Hmm.
some, maybe an elliptical or something. Something that I can do where I can just do it here at home. I don't have to go anywhere, you know. And that would
Yeah.
I that has worked for me in the past, way a long time ago, like 20 years ago when I was a teenager. That was when I worked
Yeah.
out the most consistently, was when I had a treadmill in the house. Like we had a treadmill in our back porch. And I was in the best shape of my life probably for a 2 year period in high school. Um and
Hmm.
I was on the treadmill consistently like almost every single day during that period. You know, obviously I'm sure I missed days here and there, but
Yeah.
I worked out. I actually worked out like almost every day for a couple years. And I was in really good shape. And funny enough, I had my best athletic performances those years, you know, in my life. Um so it was I don't know, it's just as an adult, it's been difficult to find, because I don't have it. We have never had a, you know, any kind of workout machine or anything like that in the house. So it's like I have to go somewhere, and it's just silly because there's actually a YMCA like not even 5 minutes from my house that I could drive to, and
Yeah.
we could sign up for, and I could literally just go there and do it. But it's still it's like a barrier for me in my head, because it's like I need to bring clothes, I would need to change, and then I'd have to, like, you know, come. It's just, I don't know. It's like a whole. You turn it into a whole thing in your head. It probably isn't really a whole thing, you know. But
Hmm.
I just have to get into a routine with it. But that's the issue, is I'm not super disciplined generally in most of the time, unless I have
Hmm.
a goal in mind. Like with the shoulder stuff with the PT, I've been pretty disciplined. I've only missed a few days doing it in the 3 months that since my injury. So I've been pretty disciplined with it. Um, yeah, it's just the issue is like I don't think I'd be able to keep. I feel like I would have a bad week, and eventually I'd like skip a couple days, and then it would just like continue. It's like I'm just
It'll
I don't
balloon
know.
out of control from
It's a
there.
mental. It's just like a mental thing for me. I've always struggled with, you know, like doing something consistently like that. So, but I don't know. I have been thinking about it though, because like I've been doing this PT, and I'm like sitting there. I'm like, yeah, you know, going to the gym probably wouldn't be too bad when you think about it. It's like just bring your headphones and, you know, doing your thing, and you know, it's like you don't have to, like, I don't, you know, I don't feel like, especially where I am, like I wouldn't start by like doing fucking running, you know, every day. Like you just start with like a walk, you know, some kind of walk, some kind of walking on the treadmill probably is where I would start. And then
Yeah.
eventually work your way into some kind of, you know, light jogs or something like that. Eventually when I lost enough weight, but it's, you know, but you got to get started. That's really the big hill with it. Cause that's the other thing. I don't want to pay money like for a gym membership, you know. It's like
No,
I don't know.
I think so. I think you're in a unique situation. The reason I go to a gym, because it's the same situation as you, right? I have
Mhm.
a YMCA not even 2 minutes from me driving. I
Yeah.
can walk
Yeah.
there.
I
I
could
can
walk
walk
there
there.
too. I actually could. Yeah. No, for
Yeah.
real.
So I signed up for YMCA and I go there, every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So
Okay.
but if it was up to me, if I had enough room in my house,
Yeah.
like I would just do it in my house. And
Yeah.
I actually think your house is big enough to where y'all can just make a room, a gym or
Well,
whatever.
the
Like
game room upstairs, I think would probably be fine.
Yeah.
Um, I need to like look it up, like how safe is it to put something like that on the second floor, but
Yeah. True.
I
Yeah.
don't think it's an issue. Um, and if that's the case, like the game room upstairs is perfect for it. There's tons of space in there. We don't ever use the room for anything, really. So
Yeah. So I mean, that's what I was trying to do when I was like living with my grandma and stuff. Like we had a huge basement, and I kind of turned the basement into a little mini gym.
yeah,
I sold all that equipment when I left, but ever since then, like it was really hard for me to like actually go to the gym because um I don't know about you, but I used to have really bad anxiety. I got better with it, but I used to
I
always
still
think
do.
everyone was like, "You still do?" Okay.
Yeah,
Uh, I used to always think everybody was like looking at me, like, "Oh,
yeah.
what is this skinny
No, and
dude
nobody
doing here?"
cares, right?
Yeah,
We
nobody
know
fucking
as adult,
cares.
like I'm not as bad about that. I will say, dude, like actually though, really in this realm, I haven't played Magic. I hadn't played Magic in 3 months since before the injury.
Yeah.
And I went last week on fuck, was it Saturday? Yeah, Saturday, and we played at one of our friends' house. And there was a whole bunch of people there. And I had this weird anxiety about playing Magic with them for some reason. Like because our group has gotten huge and there were going to be a few people there that I didn't know, I've never met before.
Hmm.
And that was like really giving me anxiety. Like I was really nervous about it for some reason. Like it's like I hadn't met people before, you know. But I don't know. I like built it up in my head over the last couple months, and like I was like really kind of so I didn't want to go. Even when I was getting in my car, I still wanted to get out and go back in my house and just like hang out with Amanda for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And but I was like, no, fuck it. I have to go. I need to do this. So I went and dude, it was fine. I had a great time, right? Like it was totally fucking fine. I blew it up in my head. I mean, that's what anxiety does, dude. It's like it's such a stupid I hate it. I hate that I have it, and I mean, this too, right? You have it as
Yeah.
well.
Yep.
And it's like it still happens sometimes. It's not a constant thing that I'm dealing with all the time, but I don't like getting in situations though where I'm around a bunch of people I don't know. I still don't do well with that. Like weddings are my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
I fucking hate weddings with a passion. As long as it's like if it's mine or if I went to like friends like yours or something or Denison's, like I'd be fine, right? I'd be around people I know at least somewhat.
Yeah.
But when when Amanda and I got married, there was a rash of like 3 or 4 years there where we started getting invited to a bunch of people's weddings who
Oh
came to ours.
no.
And dude, every single one of them we went to, it got worse and worse and worse. And I basically in one of the last ones, I basically like crashed out. Like I like I not like I didn't have like a breakdown and like I didn't make a scene at the wedding or anything like that. But on the way home that day, like I was not with it, dude. I was like so like because I was like sitting there and like some of Amanda's family were there, that we like, we do holidays with stuff, and I'm usually fine with them. But I
Yeah.
just at that time I just shut down, dude. Like I didn't want to talk to anybody. Like I went to the bathroom for like 20 minutes at one point. I was just trying to like collect myself. I couldn't. And so I don't deal well with situations like that. That's why you're not gonna see me go to the bar with you guys probably.
That's
Generally.
understandable. That's
Um
understandable.
but yeah, so it's still a thing. I think with the gym, that's not an issue for me at the gym. I don't give it like obviously, yeah. If somebody's looking at me, fuck you, dude. Who gives a shit? It's like focus on your own fucking exercises, bro. Like, yeah,
And
I'm
believe it or
fat
not, a
and out of
lot of
shape.
people
Yes, I'm not doing anything fucking crazy.
and then believe it
Um,
or not, a lot of people will actually call that shit out, that behavior out. Like if
yeah,
someone's like staring at someone or not necessarily like bullying them, like just being an asshole or whatever. Like a
yeah,
lot of people in the
yeah,
gym will call that out because a
yeah,
lot of people in the gym have been in situations where like, their body wasn't the best and now their
yeah,
body's looking good and everything like that. So
yeah,
um
yeah,
it's rare that I come across anybody that's like super rude in the gym.
yeah, yeah.
Especially at the YMCA. I mean, now if you go like Gold's Gym or like LA Fitness, you may find some assholes there, but like the Y the Y is
Yeah,
a different
yeah,
story. So
yeah. Um, but yeah, because I have thought about it. I actually would like to get to a point where I slim down a bit. Not like I'm not looking to get down to like 150 pounds or anything like that, but
yeah.
slim down a bit though, and actually like maybe get a little muscle, like do some lifting. Not like crazy. I don't want to fucking bulk up, but But just like get a little bit of muscle there because I've always been like a fucking weakling, you know. So I don't know. I think about it. It's just I gotta you
It's
gotta start, you know. It's like that's always the hurdle.
yeah. It's I will say I just started like going out, and I start now. I'm like actually like lifting and everything. I'm like almost to
Mm,
2 plates
mhm.
on the bar on the bench and everything. But I don't know. It's just fun. Like
Yeah.
it's just fun pushing yourself. Every not every day, but like you gradually see uh
Progress.
progress and stuff like that. And yeah, that's why I do because it's actually like it gives me like dopamine. Like it's just I don't know. It's just really fucking fun. It
Well,
sounds
yeah,
really
no,
deep,
and
bro. But
yeah. No,
it's
it's
just
true
fun as
though.
fuck.
Like I'm telling you with the shoulder, right? I feel that same concept, that dopamine you're talking about. Like, dude, the level of movement I can do with the arm now compared to where it was even a month ago is fucking insane. Like I couldn't
Yeah,
raise it at all a month ago, you know, and I'm almost to the point where I can raise it fully up, straight up, you know. I couldn't touch my back like 3 weeks ago, like I literally couldn't, and now I can pretty, you know, easily at least touch a part of my back, you know.
yeah,
So it's like, you know, seeing that progress, it makes you feel good, right? Like you're doing it right, you know.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I don't know. It's it's just like buying a machine is expensive, you know. They're not cheap, and you know, it's one of those things too. If you don't use it, it's gonna become this like depressing thing you have in the house, you know. It's like just a reminder of lack of discipline or whatever. So yeah. But all right. Watch, let's move on to the games and get into the rest of the show here. So, for those of you who haven't listened before, this is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. We post at 6 a.m. Central Time on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and your favorite podcast app of choice. And if you'd like to send us questions, you can do so on Twitter at The Players Take, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com, and we will most certainly answer it on the show. All right, Montreal, let's get into it. Start with what we've been playing this week. I'll go first. Still playing Wuthering Waves. First anniversary actually started this past week, and whew, community is up in arms with this one, man. They fucked it up. They fucked it up, actually. And I didn't really realize it until I started reading Reddit, but people are actually kind of right. Like I was, you know, I'm the kind of player I just play the game and I don't really interact with the community much, but I was playing the game and I was kind of curious what people thought about this because I was feeling it a little bit, and I was like, I went on there and people are pissed, bro. So this is what happened. They posted, so the events are, you know, there's events for the first anniversary, and they're giving away a whole bunch of free polls and stuff. And one of them, they're giving away free polls in 3 weeks from right now on the date of the anniversary. But they just so conveniently lined up the current banner's end date to happen 3 hours before those polls become available. So you don't have the choice as a player to use those polls on this current banner. So that's number one. That's one thing. That it's not super big, it's minor, but still it's a little shitty, right?
hmm
Um, so they got that going on. The next thing is the character they released with this patch. His name's Zani, and she has been highly anticipated since she was introduced. Like people love this character. She's this like super hot, you know, super hot chick with like horns. She's got giant fucking boobs. They're like busting out of her shirt, you know. Dude, people are losing their mind for her, right? She comes out and dude, oh my god, they did something really shitty with this character. So they basically designed her in such a way where she is not very I'm not going to say not very effective on her own, but she is significantly less effective on her own than she is with one specific other premium character that currently can support her. And her damage goes up like almost literally doubles with this other character. So they've designed her in a way where she's lesser than without this other character. So you need to pull both in order to like fully maximize Zani. And people are really pissed about this because this looks to be the direction they seem to be going with the game in general. Because the next character they're releasing on the second half of this patch looks to be similar, has a support kit that specifically buffs something we don't have yet, and people suspect it's going to be the next character introduced in the next patch. And they're, everybody's kind of thinking they're going to make that character shitty too, and you're going to need this character. So they're trying to like build these pairs of characters you have to pull together in order to make people pull more. Is kind of
Mm.
the theory right now, and it makes sense. I think people are onto something with this, and I don't blame people for being upset about this, because this is honestly, to me, is going to actually kill the game if they really try to push this shit. Because these games thrive on mentally. This is how Genshin, Honkai, Zenless Zone Zero, Wuthering Waves, this how all these games work. Is there are characters that all of us like, and there are characters, and we all have different motivations for pulling in these games. But sometimes it's aesthetic, straight up. It's how a character looks. Are they hot? Are they a waifu? Right? Are they a husband? Are they a husbando? You know, it can literally be as simple as that for a lot of people, and I think for the vast majority, it actually is as simple as that. But there's a smaller group of people that I'm a part of to some degree. Is I care about aesthetics, but I also care about the performance of the character within the context of the game, right? And those are the people they're taking advantage of here, because if you don't want the support character, which a lot of people do not like, by the way, like aesthetically, they're forcing you to pull her if you want this, if you want Zani to be at 100% potential, basically. And that kind of tactic in a gotcha game, I think, is like literally poison. Like, they're going to kill the game if they really go down this path, because if they try to force people to pull pairs of characters, there's always going to be people who don't like one or the other in the pair, and they're not going to want the other one, but they need it to make the one they like good.
Yeah.
And that is, it's just like I said, it's poison. Like so I think they need to change their tactic here on this quickly. Otherwise, I could see this game having some problems in the near future, because people are really up in arms about this, and it just doesn't feel very good. I think the other thing that they did too, third thing, so they have all these events in the game, right? They have like an event page, and you can go scroll through all the events and like go to the events. And a couple of the events are literally, they're not in-game events. They're literally out-of-game events for you to invite other people to play the game, and you get like bonus currency for them if they like make an account and play for a certain number of hours. And this is in the game. They don't usually do this. They put it in the game. Those kind of initiatives are usually kind of housed outside of the game. They'll be like on a web page, or they do it through socials or something like that. And they put it in the game this time and presented it as a first anniversary event. Like, it's on par with the other events in the game that are actually events. So people are upset about that too. And I just think they've kind of botched this pretty badly, is what it feels like. And I don't really personally care that much. I'm not that attached to this game. I don't know how much longer I'm really going to play it. I am kind of getting bored with it, because I saved up a shitload of currency. I got a couple characters in the last patch, and then I ended up deciding to pull for Zani, this new character, and the support character Phoebe for her. And I ended up getting them both. I had enough currency to get them both, and one of their weapons as well. But I'm like broke in game terms now. Basically, I have like nothing left essentially. So I'm kind of just like, I don't know. It's like, game's fun, it's fine. It's just, I don't know if I care that much. It's like, so so yeah, Wuthering Waves is immersed in drama right now with the community and the devs. And then I've put a lot of time into Kingdom Come Deliverance this past week. A lot of time. I would say somewhere in the realm of 25 to 25 hours probably. And I have actually made significant progress, I would say. I actually finally got back to the main story over the weekend and started advancing it again, which of course then opened up a whole bunch of new side quests that I could do. But I am making progress on this game, and I'm hoping to be done with it in the next couple weeks, maybe. So I'm, continuing to play it. I think I have officially decided, though, when I'm done with this, I think I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to play Claire Obscure, and then I think I'm going to come back, maybe play Kingdom Come Deliverance too. I think that's kind of my plan. Because yeah, I've been running into issues with Kingdom Come. I told you about this when we were playing League the other day, but the game has started to crash on me fairly often, and
Yeah.
it's was really frustrating on Sunday. I lost like an hour to an hour and a half of progress because it kept crashing when I was trying to do a specific quest, and it wasn't crashing in the same spot every time. It was just randomly crashing as I was like running around the world doing stuff. Like it wasn't the same thing causing it every time. So I kept having to go back to a specific save, and redoing a whole day basically was super fucking annoying. So that kind of got on my nerves, and I'm hoping to just get through the game so I'm not running into these problems anymore. But so the game isn't perfect; it doesn't run super well at times. It has issues. There are some crashes on PS5, and but I still I still like the game. I still recommend it, but I'm just like I'm at the point where I've been playing it for like 6 weeks, I think, or 5 or 6 weeks now, and I am ready to go move on to something else. It's like I want to play a different game. So we're getting there, but working my way through it. Working my way through it, and then we'll talk about this when you've gone through what you've been playing. So what have you been playing this week?
Actually, that's all I've been playing. The same thing that we.
League.
I
Okay.
haven't. Yeah, I haven't really been. I've just been. If I haven't been playing League, I've been studying. So, this week has been crazy a week for me. Like I'm going to finish South to Midnight probably. I'm gonna try to finish this weekend. I gotta go out with my wife. She planned an
Mm-hmm.
event. She's going to an event, so I gotta go with her on that event. But I'm gonna try to finish South to Midnight either tomorrow or Saturday morning, and then I am gonna start Expedition 33. I really want to start the game. A lot of people were talking about it. My brother, who doesn't even play video games like that,
Shit.
texted me about the game. He was like, "Hey, have you played Expedition 33?" And I'm like,
Wow.
"What the fuck are you playing?" Like
Damn.
he's
What?
a casual gamer,
Yeah.
so it's not like he doesn't play video games, but like he mainly plays 2K, Call of Duty. He may go outside that range every once in a while and play some other games. He'll like ask me like, "Hey, what do you think of this game?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's a cool game. You should play that." I wasn't expecting him to like text me about Expedition 33. So I am gonna play it. I've been seeing memes about it and everything, and uh I didn't know like the game. I'm not even gonna spoil it for anybody. So I'm not even gonna tell like the mechanics of the game that I didn't even know about that people were talking about in the game. That I think are really cool. So but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So yeah, I just been playing League, and I got to gold, and then I immediately got back to silver too. So I don't know what the fuck is going on with
Yeah.
with League right now. I experienced my like normally with the client, I don't really have issues like you had issues, but this past week, I almost had a crash out. Like I almost was legitimately about to take my own life. Like,
You
it's like,
were
no, I'm just
really
joking.
you were
I'm not
really
even
mad.
joking.
You
I
were
was
really
really
mad
mad
though.
though. I
Yeah.
was really fucking pissed.
I mean, you for good reason. It ruined a game. I mean, it really did. Like,
Yeah, it ruined my game. I was in lane. I was mid fight with the Silas. And I'm playing Ari, which is a toss up, a skill matchup. Not one person does better than the other in that matchup. So I was mid fight with the Silas, and my game for crash. I come back, or it just froze actually, and then I come back and I'm dead. My screen's gray, and then I tried to after that
mm-hmm.
I spawned again, I think, and then my game crashed again. It just froze, and then he took 4 or 5 waves, and
Yeah,
then after that, he just proceeded to fucking take over the game. After that, there was nothing
yeah,
I could
right.
I could do after that.
Yeah,
So
it was really frustrating.
yeah,
Uh,
so I don't know. I This is the first we played yesterday, which is the first day of the patch. I am glad I'm seeing a lot more ban reports. Um,
mhm.
but they gotta do something about the Smurfy, and everyone. We saw comments in the group chat, or not in the group chat, but in that text message you sent me, or that tweet you sent me. I was reading the
Yeah,
messages,
yeah,
and three things I saw: Smurfing, um,
yeah.
client. Well, client was number one for sure.
Which is crazy. So it isn't
Yeah,
just us.
it's not just
Yeah,
us. Yeah, it's the client shit. A lot of people were saying like, another thing is like their player base is getting old, like 30 plus. Yeah, like a lot of us don't have time to, climb like the way we used to or whatever. And they were saying like, which is another thing, big thing me and you harp on is it's impossible for new players to play the game because of the smurfing situation.
yeah,
Uh, and they don't have any kind of tools or AI tools to um this is what AI is meant to be used for. I think Dota uses their AI really good as well to teach players how to play the fucking game, because League, it just has this one little tutorial and that's it. And I
Yeah.
mean, you can do AI, you can do like 5 versus bots or whatever, but the bots, they are still playing 2-1-2 League, which is not a thing anymore. Hasn't been a thing since like the first season, bro. They're
Yeah.
still doing 2-1-2 League, and we're 15 years removed from
Yeah.
when League was released. So I don't
It's
understand.
pretty embarrassing actually.
Yeah, I don't understand why this is still a thing. So yeah, I mean, and then obviously like the skin situation. I don't really care about the skins and everything. But um, yeah, like I just think the main 3 points I think they need to do for new players is they need, or just to get their retention back, they need to stop the smurfing. They have to do something about their client, and they need to do something. They have to do something to ease new players into the game and teach them the game properly.
Mhm.
Without those things, those are the three main things for me. I mean, there's some other things I can go off, like I have a top 10 list, but like those are the
Yeah.
three main things for
Yeah.
me. Um,
Yeah.
and I've actually been experiencing that. We've been trying to climb, and it's literally like every 3 games there's a fucking Smurf. Like I would win like maybe 2 or 3 games, and then I get a fucking Smurf in my game who I know is a Smurf because they have a default skin character, and it's a difficult character they pick, and then they're just popping off in lane, and they're getting like 4 or 5 kills already, like 6 or 7 minutes into the game. I'm like, oh, you're a fucking Smurf. Or people
Yeah.
are just like paying their account to get boosted or something like that. And
Yeah.
it's just they have to crack down on these like third party sites that are doing that, because that's where all this is stemming from, like third party
Yeah.
sites
Yeah.
that have all this shit and everything. So I mean, we can't even get our friend who was mildly interested in League. We can't get him into League because if we play on our main accounts, he's going to get assholes. Even though, like, granted, there were people who were like saying like, are you new? And they were trying to teach him how to play the game, but it was already too late. Like, there's nothing, like his motivation is already dead at this point, because
Yeah.
he's like 0-6 in lane. He's been playing the game with us, or he tried to play it with us consistently for like the last 3 or 4 weeks,
Yeah.
and it's just not clicking. And
Well,
I
because
don't
like
think that's just,
when we try to get on our Smurfs, it's worse actually. Like
yeah,
the
it
irony
is.
is like we're all on new accounts together, and the games are even worse. There's like Smurfs in the game, and they're like mega fucking Smurfs. Like, they're better than we are. And it's
Yeah.
like there's nothing we can do to help at that in that situation. It's just I don't know. Like, yeah, I mean, do you think all this stuff, because this feels like a real narrative that's actually picking up amongst the League community, is like, do you kind of think like the game might be headed towards a decline, or is
Yeah,
already in one?
I think it's already in one.
Yeah, like significant enough that either Riot makes some serious changes to the way they approach the game, or that they almost backseat League for other things. Like, what do you think's the more realistic path for them to take?
They can't backseat the game, but which is why I think they are trying other avenues. I really think that I don't think the fighting game will take off, but I think it's going to be a major contributor to getting people into
Mm-hmm.
the League of Legends universe,
Yeah,
in general, just like Arcane was. I think um everyone. So the thing about League is, right, everyone sees the potential in the franchise. All of us see it.
yeah,
I think even Riot sees it. When they give it to someone else, they do crazy things with the game or whatever. Um, Even like Devolver Digital's game and everything like that, or it was the Silas game and everything. A lot of people like that game. It
yeah,
didn't sell it too much, but a lot of people did like it who played it. And then obviously Arcane popped off. Like everyone loves Arcane.
right,
Um, and everything of that nature. And even Riot themselves, when they do all these little mini events, like promos and everything, like people watch that shit. That shit gets millions of views because those things are like well produced and everything. Like
yeah,
like the season 25 one, when we saw like
yeah,
Kindred fighting fucking Tryndamere and shit like that, and it turned out to be Ash because he was about to die. Because Kindred shows up when you're about to die or whatever, but then she
yeah,
disappeared because he beat death. Like that was like a really cool concept. whatever. Even people were like texting me, like, because they know I play League of Legends, like, what did it mean when this happened and shit? I'm like, what the fuck are you watching this? Like, are you planning on playing the game? Oh no, I thought it was gonna be like another arcane thing, but yeah, it's just about the game. And they're not interested in the game. But if you can get people interested in the game, whether it be the fighting game that's coming out or Wild Rift or League of Legends Summoners Rift proper itself, uh, and you have to get it. Like, this is gonna sound really crazy, but you have to get a stranglehold on your community, man. You have to,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Like, like
I agree. It's the biggest issue the game has, dude.
yeah,
Like
they have
I
to,
don't know.
man. I mean, like I think of Fortnite, right? And the reason why Fortnite is so successful is because not only do they have other avenues for players to play the game and everything, which League does. I'm not even going to say they do. We just don't participate. Me and you don't participate in those other avenues as far
Yeah.
as like, the other game modes like Arena and then all the other little game modes they have. They have a lot of little fun game modes. But if someone wanted to jump into rank, if they wanted to play norms, right, in Fortnite,
Yeah. Yeah.
you may come across like a sweaty person every once in a while. But the majority of the time is we play Fortnite, we have fun, and then that's it, right? We
Yeah.
go into our next game. In League, if you play norms, you're stuck in that game for 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, 40 minutes in time. And on top of that, you're getting people who flame you in norms. You're dealing with the Smurf who, for some ungodly reason, who's smurfing in norms, uh,
Yeah.
for whatever fucking reason.
Yeah.
And it is very disheartening to play. Even Swift play, we try to get Brian, which I actually like Swift play. We were trying to get Brian to play Swift play. Like, some of the characters that they have are just so overpowered or so you have to know knowledge of those characters, like Mel, for instance.
Yeah.
Like, they aren't fun to play against. Garen is another one. Like, they just aren't. Timo. Like, I know these are like basic characters to
You
everybody
can't
else, but
ban them
like,
all.
yeah, you can't ban them all. And like, those characters are like very, very noob punishing friendly. You can
Yeah.
punish a noob with those characters. And I don't know. Like, I don't when I jump into Fortnite, I don't see Smurfs. Like, I just don't. Like, I don't even think that's a thing. Like, it may be a
Yeah.
thing, but like,
Yeah.
I imagine if you do really well, you're gonna automatically like jump up and you're gonna get put in your thing. I don't hear that in the Fortnite community about Smurfs and stuff like that. And I know Fortnite is a battle royale, but it is one of the most popular free to play games out there. So I'm comparing it. I think the comparison is rightfully so, and I think games like Dota and not World of Warcraft, but Warcraft 3 are having a bit of a resurgence as well because
Yeah.
they have systems in place to facilitate new players,
Yeah.
So especially like
Well,
Warcraft.
I think of Warcraft actually the funny part about Warcraft is it actually doesn't from Blizzard's perspective. But the community built a matchmaking tool that is really effective and does a very good job of matching you with people who are of a similar skill level.
Okay.
Um, and smurfing is significantly looked down upon in that community. If you report it, they will fucking ban instantaneously, dude. Like, they're actually really on top of it. So, that's part of the resurgence. That is part of the reason why the resurgence is happening, because the community took upon themselves when Blizzard launched Reforged. They fucked things up so bad that the community had to take it into their own hands to make the game functional, and playable. So
Yeah, I think Riot should do something about smurfing. I think the reason they don't want to do something about smurfing is because it'll actually reveal their actual true numbers. Like, that's what I
yeah,
think.
yeah. I mean, dude. I think the thing is that it's embarrassing though the way they onboard players. Like, it is legitimately a fucking like, it's laughable. It teaches you nothing about the game, and you're like in some fake fucking like bot match with Misfortune of all characters. Um, and like all you do is shoot minions and kill towers and go up your lane, and that's like the game. It doesn't teach you about dragon or baron or items or anything, you know. And
Yeah.
it's not an adequate tool at all. Like, so when you go into a real game, you're like, what the fuck is going on, dude? Like, there's so much shit happening in a game of League, which is funny because like Dota is way more complicated, and I feel like they do a better job of teaching their players, of how to play the fucking game at least. So it's just, I don't know. It's like a combination of these factors, and I just feel like Riot has taken for granted that League will just continue forever. Will continue to have interest, continue to have people wanting to play it. Like, there are other games out there, man. Like, there really are other games out there. And it is really funny to watch Warcraft 3 have this resurgence where all these streamers are playing it right now, because Grubby's like, he's been organizing these streamer tournaments for the last few months, and it's working and getting interest back in the game. But the thing is, the people playing, some of them are coming from League or Dota or other games, and they are talking about, like, I mean, we're talking about Tyler One, and like, there's this one called Lakari. He plays Dota. Dendi, he's a Dota pro, and they are all talking about how refreshing it is to play Warcraft 3, because it's just not like it's you versus the other person, right? If you lose the game, it's because you're not good enough, like there's nothing to blame, there's nothing else to blame. There's no teammates to blame. Like, you can play with teammates and do that, but you don't have to, right? You can do 1v1. And in that case, like, it's you versus the other players. If you're not good enough, you're going to lose. It's straight up. That is it. It's period, the end. And it's like, it's just not like that in League. Having to rely on other people. Unfortunately, I just think the player base in League has become so mentally broken that they cannot function like normal people playing a video game anymore. Like, I mean, it happens to us too, dude. It was happening to me yesterday, right? It's like, so it's like I'm part of the problem here, right? But like, I almost feel like League facilitates these things, though, where they put these stupid fucking emotes in the game, where you have a character going like, "Ooh, oh, oopsie," or something like that, and it's like trying to troll you, and it's like they're almost encouraging the player base into trolling each other, though. It's like, so people do that when you like miss a skill shot or something. They're trying to tilt you, and I just mute them, for the most part. I was getting kind of annoyed yesterday, but I just muted the person, or whatever, and it was fine. But they're like fostering that behavior, though, and it's like they don't really ban for it. I don't feel like, they ban for cheating, and I feel like they ban for inting when a game is like somebody's trying to make a game uncompetitive. They ban for those. I don't feel like they ban for behavior all that much, though, personally, unless it's like egregious where they're saying a slur or something like that. And I think they need to take that more seriously. Like, they need to wrangle their community or something, because the community is the one killing the game. Because I agree with that Twitter post I sent you. I feel like the game, balance wise, is in a really good spot, actually.
Yeah, it is, actually.
Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't feel like there's anything overtly that insanely overpowered right now, where there's some menace, terror. There are certain champions that are annoying. Kane was fucking crazy, in a couple of our games, but it's the thing is, he's killable, though. It's like, if you play right, you can still play around him and beat him,
Yeah.
It's just if he gets to jump on you, and that's kind of the way assassins are supposed to work, right? So that's almost in theory working as intended. So I think it's the player base. They've made the game not fun to play because of the way they behave, and I feel like Riot's got to get that under control. Otherwise, I think the game's going to die, because getting new players, I feel like, is a Herculean task. So if that's the case, all you're working with are your existing player base, which is slowly dwindling. And it seems like right now is actually not slowly dwindling. It's very quickly dwindling. Like, it seems like people are not playing. There's a lot of people not playing League right now that were, and our queue times yesterday
you
were
had your like
crazy.
number one
Dude.
streamer who stopped playing. Well, I don't know if he's their number one streamer, but like, he was a real popular streamer and he's not playing anymore.
One of them. He was one of them. If not the one, he was probably in the top 5.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. I mean, he is playing League. Because playing WoW and Warcraft 3 actually damaged his audience significantly in terms of like volume of people watching him. So I think he's trying to build back his audience right now by playing League, but I don't think he wants to play League. Like he's doing it for business purposes. Like, I don't think he really wants to play League, though. Like, dude, he took a vacation, quote unquote, a few weeks ago, where he was gone for literally 2 weeks. And dude, he was on Warcraft 3 almost every single day of the vacation, playing 30 games of Warcraft 3 a day, bro. He fucking loves the game right now, and it's like, that's what he really wants to play. It's just he can't drive the numbers he normally does playing that. Otherwise, he would be. So
Yeah.
it's like he's just playing League for business. It's not because of League. It's not because he likes the game. It's like so that's kind of where we're at. It's like League's still popular, yes, but I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't think they have their pulse on the community, dude. And there's some of the shit they're doing, like the skin line they just released, the Spirit Blossom stuff. Like, bro, I was looking at them yesterday. The Varus one is awful. Like for $13, it is a joke. Like it's a terrible skin.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, yes, we can blame the community. But I also agree with you as well. I think they're fostering that shit.
Yeah,
And I as much as I want to blame the community, I can't help but blame Riot themselves.
yeah.
They themselves fostered this mentality about it. I mean, cuz like I'm trying to compare it to something. I don't know how I can compare it to in real life or whatever, but like I guess it's like your parents, right? Or like a child and their
Mm,
parents, right? A
mhm.
child maybe goes to the grocery store and he says a slur about somebody, right? And it's
Yeah,
like, and your parent, and the parent at that moment was like, "Don't say that. Where did you get that from?" But he got it from you. Like, it's a little child or whatever, not like a 13-year-old or whatever the case may be.
mhm,
Like he got it from
mhm.
you or whatever. Or you weren't watching him to where, or watching them to where they were getting this type of like language and they knew where to associate that language from or whatever.
Mhm.
So I say that to say, like, right is the parents, and like you have to control your children. Like, I'm
Yeah,
sorry, like that
yeah,
your player base. And one thing about your player base is they're extremely toxic. Um, Another thing is they have this dopamine rush to win. So, uh,
yeah. Right.
they smurf and everything of that nature. I 100% believe, and for some reason they don't want to do it, but it's not like because I know if they say it, people are like, oh, right, it's woke, and they're trying to go, participation trophy safe for everybody, and it's like it's not that. The community cannot handle KDAs. They can't. They
They
need to
really
take that
can't.
stat away.
Yeah.
Um, and and until
Show it
we
after the
earn
match. You don't even see your own.
exactly until we as a community can get our shit together, we should get that stat taken from us in game.
Yes.
Like gold is not being shown in the game, we should
Yeah.
not get that stat in game. Um, I wholeheartedly believe that. And then, like you said, the smurfing, or like I said, the smurfing, and then like you said, like the skin lines, the emotes and everything like that. And now they do have tools for you to mute that stuff or whatever. But I shouldn't like I play the game now with mute all. Like everything's just muted
You shouldn't
because
have to do that. Yeah.
I shouldn't have to play the game like that. Um,
Yeah.
and then like I think my final point is with Riot themselves. They have this ego, this mentality that they are above everything. I mean, for instance, when people complain about um I would call him Alfonso, but Aphelios,
Yeah.
and they're like, yo, like what
Alfonso.
Alfonso.
Yeah.
That's gonna be his new name, actually.
Yeah,
Uh,
fuck him,
eh,
bro. Fuck him. Yeah.
he got released, right?
Yeah.
They were talking about how simple champions were, where they like, they compare like their passive, and it was like, oh, you press you every 3 attacks, you get healed 20 points or whatever. It was like, and that was somebody's passive. Now look at Aphelios' passive, and it's like a whole fucking paragraph or a paper, a thesis paper, and
Yeah.
everything. And then like the developers like, we have over 200 combined years of experience on the right team. We know what we're
Yeah.
doing. It's like, how about you listen to what happened to the customer is always right? I
Yeah.
understand. And we do it sometimes too. We have to understand that there's a balance though, guys.
Yeah.
Gamers are customers.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to listen to them. Gamers are the only customer base that constantly gets disrespected. Constantly.
Yeah.
It's actually insane when you think about it. Like, I don't have to listen to them. They're gonna buy my product anyway. Ha ha ha. Like no other industry. Well, maybe there are some other industries, but like no
Magic
other
the
industry.
Gathering.
Magic the Gathering.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's
But
yeah.
I mean, it's in the same. It's adjacent. Like board gamers and card gamers and video gamers are kind of all in the same bucket of nerds, right? So it doesn't surprise
Yeah,
me.
but I think that's very disrespectful to
It
the
is.
consumer base.
It is.
I think Like I could already see DJs like, well, they always go after the developers and everything like that. And I say that too. And when we always defend the developers and stuff like that on the podcast. But I think at a certain point though, we have to be realistic with ourselves and kind of listen to what the gamers want sometime. Now, like now we want to talk about like, oh, we're Montreal. They're also talking about DEI and all that stuff like that. That's like a small numeral number of gamers. But I mean, yeah, that is a valid point, but it's a small number of gamers. And sometime that shit is unnecessary, like i.e.
Yeah.
Dragon Age Veilguard or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But
Yep.
but like when you have games like League of Legends, when that's not even the conversation is we want your game to be great. Just listen to us. Get
Yeah.
rid of the smurfing. I mean, you guys are doing something about the cheating. I am happy about that. I have never ran into a game where we're cheating. Like when a game stopped and it was like somebody's cheating in your game. Never ran into that. So you guys are obviously doing something good on that end. But you guys have to make the new player experience better because we literally tried to get a grown ass man to play this game with us. Two of them. I tried to get DJ to play this game a couple years ago, and it's just
Yeah.
awful. It's
Yeah.
a terrible experience, not only for me, but for like, and I don't like to say this, right? But like it was getting to the point where I'm like, I hope Brian doesn't want to play because I don't feel like fucking losing. Like my mental was like that. I'm like, I should
Yeah.
not be saying I hope my friend doesn't want to play a fucking video game with me. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
mentally crazy to me.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just where I'm at. Riot needs to do something about it. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
No, I mean, I think your point about them feeling like they're above all this shit and like they're too like they're smelling their own farts too much, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think this extends to some of the story stuff they do too. I think they feel like League's story is more interesting than it is. Like, no offense, like I liked Arcane season 1, but it's
I don't even
like
think they wrote that story. I think the studio wrote
true,
that story,
true,
bro.
true, probably. But I don't think that these little trailers they do, like, they're cool and all, but like, I mean, what they have all this lore for League, but like you have to go out of your way to find it. And I just don't feel
Yeah,
like there's not enough in the game or out or even out of the game. Like Arcane to me, I think Arcane should have been or whatever they're going to continue with that studio to do. They need to do these need to be almost anthology series where they show major events in the League timeline. Like that's what they
yeah,
should be doing. I don't think it should be one continuous story with the same characters showing up in different ones. Maybe they will if that makes sense for whatever story you're telling, but like I don't need to see Vi and Mel and who all these other characters and whatever the next thing that studio does for League of Legends, right? It's like, but that seems to be the direction they're going a little bit because the trailer for this year, the one in January, the one that was their art style or whatever,
yeah,
seemed to be in a continuation of Arcane. That's what it looked like because Mel was in it,
yeah,
and it was Mel as we knew her from Arcane, So I don't know. I just think even with that stuff with these trailers that they do, I think they it's almost like they put too much effort into this stuff. It's like focus on the game, guys. Like you need to focus on the game. Stop trying to sell us shit. Stop with this gotcha bullshit that you just put in the game. Trying to find more expensive ways to make people buy skins. And then the low tier skins that you make, which funny enough, the lowest price skins they make nowadays, it feels like are the 1350 skins, which is insane to say. But those are like shit tier skins now. They're trash, dude. And like Jet was looking at the Ash one and he said that was like a $20 one. And he's like, it's not even good, like from his perspective. And he's an Ash player and should be excited about that kind of thing. So I don't even think they're putting effort into the things they want us to buy in the game either. They think we're going to buy whatever slop they put in the fucking game, dude, and I think they just need a reality check straight up. And maybe they're getting it right now. Maybe they're panicking. Who knows? Because there have been some positive changes in the game recently. But then there's doing things like forcing people to buy the support item, and buy the jungle item and forcing you to have smite, which like in theory I don't have a huge problem with, but some people in the community do, and it feels like they're ignoring those people. And I don't necessarily feel like that's a great approach either. So there's got to be a middle ground to strike, but they just seem so extreme in the way they do things. They don't they don't really compromise with the community. They do things their way. It's their way or the highway. And if you don't like it, oh, too bad. You're gonna queue up anyways. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just not a good way to treat your players. So, and that's probably why the community is toxic, because they have a toxic relationship with the developer.
Yep.
So it is what it is. But playing the game, like when we have fun, I do feel like we have fun. It's just like we had a couple nights in a row earlier this week. I think it was Monday, Tuesday, that were fucking miserable, dude. Like
Yeah.
it felt like we were being punished for some reason. Like I legitimately felt like I was being punished by the matchmaking. For something I did, and who knows what that is. Because we were getting teams of complete just like either inters or assholes or just like players that were not at our skill level versus teams that were fully coordinated, felt like they were a fucking 5-stack. They're literally setting up kills for each other. They're doing these crazy plays that even we don't do when we play together. It's like, and I'm like, how is this fair, dude? It's like the disparity here just doesn't feel like, it feels crazy that this is actually happening in a game. I don't really understand that pendulum, and I'm personally starting to get annoyed with the matchmaking, though, in the sense that I feel like the ranked in this game really decides your rank and wants you to stay there at all costs. Like, I think it's really difficult to break out of whatever your perceived rank the game has for you. And for me, that's silver. And for you, I feel like it's become silver over time, and that's probably from playing with us. But because it just feels like the game has dragged you back down. Like after you got to gold, it was like, oh no, oh, you got to gold, oh no, you're a silver player, and we're just gonna make sure you lose 8 times in a row to bring you back to silver 3, or whatever. It's like that, dude. That sucks. It's not fun. I don't feel like you should go on losing streaks like that, because I think the thing is, like, when we experience it, like when we're going on losing streaks, it's not because we're playing bad a lot of the time, like we're fine. Like we have a positive, we're positive KDA. We haven't died that many times. We might have won our lane even, and it's like, but the rest of the team is just like fucking inting, and it's like, what can you actually do about that as a singular player in a league match, especially when you're playing like ADC or support. It's like you can't be on the map holding their hand the whole time. They have to play for themselves at a certain point. So I don't know, that one. I don't know what to do about. I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. But
Yeah.
it's just a frustration, because yeah, it sucks, because the game feels like it's in a great spot, but like the meta things around the game are not in a great spot. They're in a very bad spot. And it sucks. So all right, anything else about League?
Nope, that's it.
All right, let's move on to the news. We got some kind of big stories this week. This one just hit today. And this is I don't know. We'll talk about it, I guess. I don't know if it's a surprise or not, but Microsoft has announced that they are raising prices on Xbox products, so hardware, games, accessories, etc. And the hardware, so the console and accessory prices are live now, like they happen today. The increase in prices on games is supposedly going to happen this holiday. For Xbox first party games is what they said. So we'll see what follows from that. But just to go through the prices. So price changes. Xbox Series S 512 gig. This is the lowest model you can buy. Was $299.99. Is going up to $379.99. The Xbox Series S 1 terabyte, which was $349.99, is going up to $429.99. So $80 increase on both of these. The Xbox Series X digital is going up $100 from $449.99 to $549.99. The Xbox Series X is also going up $100 from $499.99 to $599.99.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
The Xbox Series X 2 terabyte Galaxy Special Edition is going up $130 from $599.99 to $729.99. The Xbox controllers, the core one's going to be $64.99. The colored controllers are going to be $69.99. The wireless controller special edition is $79.99. So I think those prices are not changing. Those three that I just said. The wireless controller limited edition is going up $10 from $79.99 to $89.99. The Elite controller Series 2, the core one, this doesn't have everything, is going up $10 from $139.99 to $149.99. And the Series 2 full with all the little accessories and things you can change with like the sticks and stuff is going up $20 from $179.99 to $199.99. The stereo headset is staying flat at $64.99, and the wireless headset's going up $10 from $109.99 to $119.99. And then games this holiday, first party Xbox games, are going up to $79.99, $10 from $69.99. So,
I
Montreal,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
go
The
ahead, go
game
ahead,
the
speak.
Okay, so the games is the ones I'm really upset about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, bro, they're digital. I just
Yeah, yeah,
I can't. I will never be on board with the high price of games, and I understand we haven't raised game prices in over like 19 years. I just
yeah,
don't give a fuck. I'm sorry.
yeah,
I don't care. Um,
yeah.
it's not my fault that they're inflating their budgets for the
That
marketing
is,
department.
you are
It's not my
totally
fault.
right.
Yeah,
100%. 100%.
it's not my fault. They're doing these high profile commercials and getting fucking Game of Thrones actors in these commercials and shit like that. I don't fucking care. I legitimately don't fucking care. Back in the day, all I needed was a fucking game magazine, bro, and maybe one commercial, and that was it, bro. That was fucking it. And I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that commercial didn't cost $20 billion. When I saw the marketing budget for Destiny, that's when I knew this shit was rigged against us. That should not happen.
Mhm.
If you're curious, anybody just look up the marketing budget for Destiny 1. It was fucking insane. Either Destiny 1 or Destiny 2, they released those numbers. It's fucking insane how much of that budget went towards marketing. So that is my issue. Now, yes, I do believe developers should get paid a decent wage. I do believe they shouldn't have to work 100 hours a week. I believe all this shit. And if
Mhm.
that's contributing to the high price, we may see like, oh, it goes from $69.99 to $75 or $74.99. Okay, cool. I can deal with that. But for going from $79.99, which I didn't need, oh, that's the controller. I'm sorry. But going from like $60 or $70 to $80 is fucking insane to me. Nintendo's doing this shit. I don't even think Nintendo should get away with this shit at all. And I definitely don't think Xbox should do this shit. Like this is fucking insane to me. Now the price of the consoles and all the other shit like that, I understand it because tariffs. So I already knew this was coming. Um, Unfortunately,
Mm. Yeah, but
and
do you think this
to
is this not convenient though?
it
They're
it it
really going hard here.
I bro I actually expected it to be more.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
Okay.
from the numbers I was looking at and like
Yeah.
some of the like economy
Yeah, but are
podcasts I
Xboxes
listen.
even made in China? Are Xbox consoles made in China?
The tariffs on like the entire world though. Like he tariffed the
No,
entire world.
the ones that are significant right now is just China. But everything else is still on pause right now.
Yeah, I mean that's true, but I mean you still get certain parts that are shipped out of China. A lot of our stuff does still go through China, unfortunately.
They are primarily manufactured in China according to the Guardian.
Yeah, and you got to
So, yeah.
consider Taiwan as well, which is still technically a
Yeah.
part of China, but not. So it's like I don't know, man. Like this is what we asked for. It is convenient though that these companies are doing this, but a lot of companies were like trying to fight against this thing, and now I
Well,
think I'm
yeah.
not even on the company side. Like I hate these companies, but it's just like, what else are they supposed to do? Like, what are you
Well,
supposed to do as a business?
hold
You
on
know?
though. Let me play devil's advocate. So, okay, if you're right, if this is tariff, pushed, not the games, just the hardware, right?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
this is tariff motivated, if and when the tariffs go away, should the prices not come back down?
Oh, 100%. If they don't come back
Do
down,
we
then
think they will? Because I don't think they will. I think this is permanent, personally.
I think they won't go away. You're right. This will be an excuse to raise prices yet again
across the board. That's what I'm
across the
thinking.
board.
I think the industry is taking this moment to. I mean, we said this with Nintendo right a few weeks ago when the pricing for their stuff was announced. I think the industry is very specifically taking this moment to readjust pricing for the entire industry, and there are like I've talked about this before. There are real things that have happened in the last 5 years since COVID that video games were not ready for in terms of the inflation and the changes in economics, around the globe, right? In terms of prices going up and inflation happening worldwide, that really happened, and then the tariffs on top of it. So seeing some kind of price increase is not a surprise necessarily. And I think even this is not necessarily a surprise. I am surprised that Xbox is doing it though, because the thing I'm more interested in going forward is because we're going to talk about Circana later, and dude, things are not looking great for the industry right now. Do you think this craters the already cratered Xbox hardware sales even harder? Like,
Yes,
why would I buy an
100%.
Xbox for fucking $600? An Xbox Series X? That's insane.
Yeah,
A
bro.
5-year old piece of hardware, you know?
It is 5 year old. Yeah, no. I I don't know, bro. I think it's crazy. I mean, Xbox is always the ones who like kind of take the first step to shit on everything. Like they did it with the DRM stuff, and now everything's
Mhm.
always online. So they
Yeah.
have the capital to do it. Um, but I agree with you. I just think it's actually fucking insane. I don't know, man.
And I also think if anybody can eat the tariff costs, it's Microsoft of all
Yep.
companies, right? So I
Yep.
don't I don't have any pity for them here. I'm not going to defend them here. This is crazy. Dude, the Xbox Series S is a piece of shit. And they're going to charge $380 for that thing now for the 512 gig version of it. Up to $430 for the 1 terabyte. This console is a piece of fucking trash, dude. Like, and they're really going to charge that much money for it. It's crazy. Like, I actually think it's insane that they have the gall to do this at that level. The X, I could understand increasing the price of it somewhat,
Mhm.
but the S is crazy. I think the S is nuts. Personally, the
Yeah, I
accessories are
don't.
really not that bad. It's $10 here, $10 there. It's fine. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
why I
it's a
didn't
big
complain
deal.
about the accessories or whatever. I
Yeah.
just think the console and then the games are egregious. I especially since we're
Well,
getting away from shipping games to stores
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Like you have a digital platform.
Well, that's why I
Like
don't think this is tariff motivated, because the games went up with this,
yeah,
were announced to be going up with this. So, I mean, maybe it is because the hardware stuff is all happening
I think
immediately,
they're hiding it under the
but
guise of the tariffs. I will say that I think
yeah,
they're doing that 100.
that's my
percent
opinion as well, personally. But so I don't know. I mean, we talked about Sony doing this in other regions last week with their hardware as well. So, I mean, this is happening industry wide. But I mean, I'm expecting more though. I do wonder if this year's Madden and college football games are going to be $70. I know they
Oh,
were announced. The dates were announced.
100% they're gonna be.
Um,
EA can't hold their dick in their pants to get their shit up to $70. What are you talking about?
yeah,
While laying off people.
let's see. Are pre-orders up?
I don't think
Pre-order
so.
now. Let's see. PlayStation Standard. Continue the PlayStation Store. Make this easy for me, guys. It is $69.99. Madden NFL 26 Standard Edition. So
Mm.
maybe not yet, but maybe EA's kicking themselves right now because they might have because I mean, Nintendo's did this first, and now Microsoft's doing it. I mean, it's got to be giving all these third party publishers permission, right,
Mhm.
to do it themselves.
I think they have to. They got to give permission for certain consoles. Uh,
Well, I
I
mean,
don't know.
I mean, like, figuratively permission. Like, they don't actually need permission to charge more, right? They can charge whatever they want. But like, like Microsoft doing this though is kind of a signal to the industry, like, oh, okay, we can charge
I
$80
I
now. You know,
I think Nintendo did it. I think
I mean,
Nintendo did
Nintendo did
this.
it first for sure, but now
Yeah,
Xbox doing it is like really reinforcing that, right? Because
yeah,
Nintendo didn't do it for everything across the board; it was specifically just Mario Kart. But Microsoft here is announcing all their first party shit coming out going forward is going to be 80.
yeah.
So um, that is a different message, certainly. So I don't know. We're in a new world. I think I don't know. I almost want to get into Circana now, actually, like because this is
Okay,
very related. So
let's do it.
I'm gonna jump this forward. So March Circana numbers for March 2025. So I'll just go through the numbers real quick, and then we can discuss. So total video game sales March 2025, 4.689 billion this year versus 4.985 billion last year. That's a negative 6% change. Video game content, physical sales, digital sales, microtransactions, etc. 4.164 billion this year versus 4.336 billion last year. That's a 4% decrease year over year. And then video game hardware, 286 million this year versus 382 million last year. That is a 25% decrease in sales year over year. And then accessories, 238 million this year versus 267 million last year, an 11% decrease year over year. And then year to date sales, total video game sales for the year, 13.709 billion this year versus 15.102 billion last year, and 9% decrease. Video game content, 12.310 billion this year versus 13.235 billion last year, 7% decrease there. And then video game hardware, 747 million this year versus 1.094 billion last year, 32% decrease there. And then video game accessories, 652 million this year versus 772 million last year, 16% decrease year over year at this time. By this time, for the year. I mean, dude, we're talking about huge negatives here. Hardware sales are already down 32% year over year, and then you're increasing prices in that climate. You know, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense business wise, in my opinion. You know, um, that's why I don't know. It's like I don't know how you call this a necessity for somebody like Microsoft necessarily. Obviously, I mean they need to make money, right? They need to have positive cash flow, but um it just feels like the climate in video games right now is that people are not buying games at the rate they were. Even forget about the COVID bump, we're past the COVID bump at this point, like well past it. This is I mean this is like the drop after that. We're continuing to drop, after that. So because there's a quote here from Matt Piscatella. Quote, March video game hardware spending fell 25% when compared to a year ago to 286 million. This is the lowest March hardware spending since 2019, which was 279 million. Circana's digital only SKUs have accounted for 75% of Xbox Series and 50% of PlayStation 5 hardware units sold year to date. End quote. So, yeah, so this is the lowest spend in the month of March since 2019 on hardware that has been reported since this was being tracked, basically in the US. And that is so you're in that climate and then you're going to increase prices on top of it. I just think it seems like folly. Like these numbers I would expect to go even harder down going forward, unless, I mean, obviously Xbox sales probably don't make up a huge chunk of the total hardware spend in the industry. And
Mhm.
Nintendo is going to buoy this in June big time with the Switch 2 launch, I would expect, significantly. But if Sony follows suit though and does increase console prices in the US as well, I would expect hardware sales to take a significant decline, um, for sure. And Microsoft doing this now is also interesting too, because if you're somebody who doesn't have a game console and you're considering one, um, why wouldn't you just go for a Switch or a PlayStation right now? Because they're both cheaper, you know, um, and you have a significantly better experience slash library there, probably, by most people's metrics. So I don't know. I mean, what do you think, Montreal?
I think we're starting to see the industry consolidate or contract rather,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
in a big way. I
Yeah.
think um whether this is just the natural flow of things or a lot of people are just kind of like they have better stuff to do, or I think it's a perfect storm where like the contraction, uh, people are fed up, and then people also have better stuff to do. I think um, COVID gave the game industry a very, very inflated sense of how important they are,
Yeah.
uh, and they try to continue that, and now we're just seeing the downfall of that major mistake. Because I mean, we both me and you said it like everyone needs to like slow the fuck down. Like we understand that gaming has popped off because everyone's inside, but it's to the point now where the decisions they made in those 2 or 3 years, um, is coming back to like to bite them. To be honest with you,
Yeah, it's wild that that wasn't more obvious to everybody. I don't know. I just don't understand. Like, like how do these executives sit there and just like they're just like they're like, yeah, we have a ton of money, guys. Let's just like open all these studios and start making all these games and shit. And it's like, what do you mean? Like yeah, everybody's stuck inside. Of course they're playing video games. But the second they can go outside, like they're gonna go back to what they were doing before. Like that just seems obvious. I don't know. It's such a weird. It was such a weird oversight.
yeah, no, I agree. I think people just think about the quarterly objectives. They don't think about the big picture. It's
Yeah,
rare that you get to
I
see
agree.
a CEO that thinks about the big picture. Like, you know, I hate even using this term with the short term pain for long term gain. But like, it's
Yeah,
rare that you see that. Um, Actually, like for like my company, right? This is when I knew my company was a little bit different. Um, we
yeah,
experienced booms in those times, right?
yeah,
And instead of like going crazy hard and like, oh, we're gonna spend all this money, we're gonna open up these new departments, we're gonna hire more people. They're like, no, we're gonna take a 3 year like melodrama or mellow and we're going to look at things. We're going to figure things out. We're only going to take the highest quality job sites, the highest quality jobs, and everything. And we fared way better than all of our competitors because we did that. Because they
yeah,
looked at it and was like, okay, we see all this money coming in, but we
yeah,
need to chill the fuck out. Like, we need to like actually take you know, a look at what's going on or whatever. And I think a lot of the companies that did do that in the game industry, they're still here. The ones that didn't, those are the ones that are, you know, unfortunately laying people off and everything of that nature. And I don't think it's the people's fault that they're being laid off. I think it's the failure of leadership, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think this trend right now is, I mean, it's contributing to Ubisoft's like collapse that's happening right now.
Yeah.
And that's a major publisher that we could potentially lose, in a big way. And I would imagine um, EA and 2K are probably fine for the most part, but I mean, we're seeing a truncation with EA too, though. Like they've done significant layoffs the last few years, and I think we're seeing layoffs all across the industry, and those jobs are not coming back. This isn't like a temporary layoff. Like I think those are permanent losses. And yeah, I think the word you use, contraction, is exactly right. I think that's what we're looking at right here. There's going to be less companies making games, less games, period. Which I think is, you know, it's sad for people to lose their jobs. I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but I think at a macro level for the industry is actually the right thing for the industry, because I think we both feel this way, and I think a lot of people we know feel this way. Being in our 30s, having busy lives. Some people we know have kids. It's impossible to keep up with the game releases nowadays. And I think the industry is like, they went way too hard, way too long with releasing too many games that all take 100 hours to beat. And it's like, that I think is coming home to roost now. Like I've been playing Kingdom Come Deliverance for almost 2 months, and it's like 150 hours of content, and I'm not playing anything else in that time frame, you know? And it's like I haven't bought another game, I haven't played another game, I haven't thought about playing another game or buying another game. And it's like how many other people are in that kind of situation with some of these games that just have a shitload of content to play, you know? I think it's probably more common than we think, and that's probably reflecting in, the sales numbers that we're looking at. It's like, why am I going to buy another game when I'm playing one currently? It's like I don't spend my money that way, and I think I'm sure there are plenty of people who also do the same thing. So the industry almost is digging its own grave by making games as big as they are. Um, I think it would make more sense and would be healthier for us to get less games that are shorter, and that would be beneficial to everybody, you know. Um the gamer, the companies who make the games, and other companies, like indies and stuff as well, because then their games would get kind of buoyed up as well because there'd be more time available for people to play those games also. So I think this has just been like a long-term thing over the last 5 years, and it started with COVID and what's going on before COVID, but it really has gotten exacerbated, I would say, in the last like 3 or 4 years in terms of releases and stuff. And the industry's paying for it right now. It really is. And like you said, it's a failure of leadership. All these people losing jobs is because leadership overreached, overstretched, and they didn't anticipate the decline. They didn't think the decline could happen in the way that it's happening, and that is a failure. Like it's just straight up overreach. I think anytime a company needs to lay people off, that is a failure. It's so yeah, it sucks. All right, top 20 games for the month of March. Number 1, Assassin's Creed Shadows. Number 2, MLB The Show 25. Number 3, Monster Hunter Wilds. Number 4, WWE 2K25. Number 5, Split Fiction. Number 6, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Number 7, PGA Tour 2K25. Number 8, NBA 2K25. Number 9, Bleach Rebirth of Souls. Number 10, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Number 11, Minecraft. Number 12, Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 13, EA Sports FC 25. Number 14, Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 15, Madden NFL 25. Number 16, Elden Ring. 17, Xenoblade Chronicles X. Number 18, Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster. Gate Rune and Dunin Unification Wars. 19, Marvel Spider-Man 2. 20, EA Sports College Football 25. Anything jumping out to you there, Montrell, you want to talk about?
Actually, no, this is a very uninteresting list, to be honest with you.
Hey
For
man,
me, at
Xenoblade
least.
Chronicles X being 17 is extremely impressive given the fact that digital sales are not included for it.
You know what? You're right.
Um,
That is true. And given the fact that it's not the best Xenoblade game, so yeah, I agree
I
with
would
that.
say, yeah, and I'd also say it's harder to get into than the other ones. So more people are being exposed to this game than ever played it on the Wii U, which I think is a huge positive. So
And you know what? I take it back. Assassin's Creed 2 or Assassin's Creed Shadows being top, either top of the list and then second in the best selling game so far,
yeah,
uh, kind of shows that the campaigns against the game kind of helped it a little bit.
probably.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So
Okay. Top 20 games for the year so far. Number 1, Monster Hunter Wilds. Number 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows. Number 3, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Number 4, MLB The Show 25. Number 5, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Number 6, WWE 2K25. Number 7, Civilization 7. Number 8, NBA 2K25. Number 9, PGA Tour 2K25. Number 10, Split Fiction. Number 11, Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 12, Minecraft. Number 13, Madden NFL 25. 14, EA Sports FC 25. 15, Red Dead Redemption 2. 16, Marvel Spider-Man 2. 17, EA Sports College Football 25. 18, Hogwarts Legacy. 19, Elden Ring. 20, Avowed. I can't believe Avowed is actually on the list at 20. That's actually crazy that it's holding
yeah.
on, but I'm sure it'll drop off. Yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows though at 2 for the year already. I mean, above Kingdom Come Deliverance, and we know that game sold several, few million copies minimum. Very impressive actually. So Ubisoft doing well there. Split Fiction at 10 actually kind of jumps out to me.
Yeah, they already have like a contract for a movie.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane for that game. I mean
Yeah.
the game looks fun, but I when I saw that I was just like, come on guys, like
We got to
really?
play at Montreal actually. Like we need to
Yeah,
play that together.
yeah, we do.
I think that would be a fun game. And then Civilization 7 at 7. Um yeah, this game's in trouble. Like it had a really rocky launch, and I don't know if it's recovered. They supposedly did some big like UI patch that like fixed all the problems or something. I don't know how people are reacting to it, but um I think Civilization is like actually stale as like a franchise. Like to the point that they had to change the gameplay up so significantly because they just didn't think they could do the same thing again, you know? It's like
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the point we're at with Civilization, and it's going through some growing pains right now. I think is they figure out the right design space for that new concept, you know. So, um, but yeah, otherwise, I mean, the back half of the list is just fucking, names we know. Grand Theft Auto, fucking, like, dude, like, can you believe Grand Theft Auto 5 is 11, and there's a new Grand Theft Auto game coming out this year? It's like,
Is that it's 11 years old, dude?
yeah, 12, 12 in September. It came out in 2013, didn't it?
Oh my god, bro. Let
Yeah.
this game die. Like I'm sorry, y'all.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't
it's going to
see
be
it.
replaced by 6 when 6 comes out here and later in the year. So don't worry, Montreal. It'll be dead probably.
I
Oh Lord,
Justin, it's one of those games, man, where I just don't get it.
I don't
It's
either.
it's
I don't
it's really
either.
really one of those. Like I played it a lot when I was younger, like because it was like an edgy game. You know, ooh, pro, I can slap a prostitute or shoot him or whatever. Like, ooh,
Yeah.
you're an edgy 13-year-old or whatever. But it's like, no, bro, I just don't see the appeal. I'm just like, I don't care. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know, man. It's such a weird game. Like, I don't know, man. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I agree. I've never really found it appealing personally, but it's GTA, dude. It's one of the most powerful. It probably is the most powerful IP in video games. So yeah. All right, Marshall, let's move on to more sad news. There were EA layoffs again this week, and that included Respawn, and it actually hit a project they were working on, which was supposedly a new Titanfall extraction shooter, which was canceled as part of it. So, how do you feel about this? I'll let you go first on this one.
I kind of knew it was happening. Um,
Yeah, but did you know about the like? You didn't know about the game. Like, how did you? What was your initial reaction when you heard this was being developed and then canceled?
uh, when I heard it's being developed, to be honest, I had a really pessimistic view. I don't think I expressed it on the pod, but I
No.
was just like, it's going to get canceled in the first place. I don't care. It's going to get canceled. Something's going to happen where it gets canceled, and it
Hmm.
did. So that's why I'm not even surprised. I'm not
Yeah.
mad. I don't. I actually just don't care anymore. Like I'm just
Yeah.
like they always do this to Titanfall. Even in the article, they released a statement. I think, and I want to say maybe my okay, yeah. They released a statement, and in the statement, they said the Apex Legends franchise, Respawn themselves said that. So I was just like, yeah, it's cooked. It's cooked. There is
Yeah.
no more Titanfall, bro. There's Apex Legends now, and
Yeah. Well, would you have wanted a Titanfall extraction shooter anyways though, even if it had come out? Like is that an appealing concept to you?
no, I mean, I understand why they did it because the game in itself, when you play Titanfall 1 and 2, at the end of the multiplayer matches, you have to extract. Like you have to
Yeah.
run back to the ship and everything. That's
Okay.
like a part of the game.
Okay.
So like your extraction comes in and then you have to extract or whatever. So it's actually like built into the game. Um, and they just add items and shit like that, and yeah, and then you go about your business. Um, so I see it from that aspect, but really no. I just wanted a multiplayer. Or I just wanted a good single player game like Titanfall 2 had, and multiplayer. That's all I
Okay.
wanted.
But okay, come walk with me though a little bit here on this idea. I mean, obviously, this is probably not a whole lot of point in this speculation at this point, but think about this idea of an extraction shooter, right? Obviously, this genre is huge right now. It's the new fad. It's the new BR. Everybody's fucking making extraction shooters, which I'm, probably going to be sick of in 6 months. But Titanfall, I feel like actually makes sense for an extraction shooter in the sense that it's not just guns and fucking armor you're picking up for yourself and extracting with. It's fucking Titan parts, like your actual mech. You could like design your mech and like you find parts on the map that you extract with, and then you can fight with your mech in certain situations as well. Like I don't know how it would work necessarily, but like as an idea, I feel like there's something there. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like you're right. Like I said, the extraction mechanic was already built into the game from the get
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
So I get where they're going with it, and I understood why they're doing it. I just think the fad is played out. I don't really care for extraction shooters. That's just me
It really hasn't
personally.
even happened yet, though. It's like Tarkov. Like, what other extraction shooters are there? I know Marathon's coming. It's like
Well,
I
there's
don't know.
marathon. I mean, the division already happened. I
Yeah, that was
mean,
true. That was the first. That was like the first big one. Yeah, which
um,
that did it better than any of them, probably.
yeah, in my opinion, it did. But like, people don't
Yeah.
consider the division an extraction shooter. They consider Escape
Well, it
from
was a
Tarkov.
little. It was a little side zone.
Yeah,
That was.
yeah.
It was
But I mean,
part
the
because
concept. I think the concept came from that, in my
yes,
opinion. Like,
I agree. Yeah, I think so. I can't think
um,
of one before that personally, but
uh, I mean, I think they had other games that try to do the extraction thing as well, but I don't know. I mean, I guess you consider DayZ an extraction shooter, kind of.
true,
It's a
true.
survival game slash extraction
Yeah,
shooter.
yeah,
Um, H1Z1, even though it's like more of survival. Um,
yeah.
um, I, I mean, now we're getting all these extraction shooters because BR is dead, and bro, honestly, I don't even think the extraction shooters are gonna last as long as BRs.
I don't
To
think
be
it
honest
will
with you.
either. I don't think the gameplay loop is anything. It's not interesting at all. Like this is my issue with Marathon as like a concept of a game. Is like I was talking to you about this. Is like I okay. I think gameplay wise, the game will be appealing to play. Moment to moment, but the act of extracting will probably be fun as well. But then what is the point of extracting? So you can go into the next match and extract better? I don't I don't know. Like it's like there's no meta purpose to any of this. It's literally you're like going in to get better gear so then you can go in to get better gear again. It's like I already have the better gear. So why am I going back in? It's just to play the game? Like it's I don't know. It's like I mean, not every game needs reward systems and a meta progression and things like that necessarily. I don't think that's the case, but like in this particular situation, though, I without that, I don't really understand what you're doing in the game necessarily. It's like what why are you going to extract? Like I feel like there's got to be some purpose outside of the individual matches for you to do this stuff, and Marathon's not going to have that at launch. And like I don't even know what Tarkov has. Like what are you doing with Tarkov anyway? Either like is there some like is there a base building thing or something? Like you can build your own base or something. But what even that? Like what's the
I
point of that? It's like
Yeah, like in Vigor you can
you
do
know
that. I don't know about Tarkov, but in Vigor,
okay
I think in Tarkov you can do the same thing.
yeah.
And you build your base, you get more materials, you use those materials to make more parts and make better
Yeah.
parts for your guns and stuff like that.
But can people
So
like raid you and stuff or like
no,
no?
it's literally just like a slow building thing, and I think it does a reset every couple of months to like
Oh
a year or something like
fuck
that.
that! Oh, that's
Yeah.
awful. Why do people play this shit? What a fucking gaslighting bullshit that is. I hate
Yeah.
that, dude. Reset your
Uh,
progress. Yeah, fuck you. Get on
so
the treadmill again, pussy. Like what the fuck? Like fucking like fuck that, man. I hate that.
yeah,
That
so
sounds miserable.
it's not, yeah, it's not the best. In my opinion, it's just not like the best thing ever.
Concept. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the
No, it's
best.
just
It's
not
for
fleshed out right. I don't think anybody's done it really the right way yet.
Yeah,
Um
I think it needs to be some kind of like permanent progression or whatever. But I don't know if you. I don't know how you extraction shooters sound really cool because like you're not only going against players, you're going against the environment as well. So it sounds really
Yeah,
cool in theory.
yeah.
It's just
I've always loved PvPvE as a concept.
yeah, I do like that. It's just where do you go from here with it? You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like
Well,
I don't
so okay,
know.
how about this though? How about this? How about this? How about this? Marathon. Let's take marathon. Here's an idea. So you have the extraction shooter part, right? And that's like the main part of the game. But maybe there's like a PvE mode that you go into where it's like a challenge. I don't even know if I call it a challenge mode, but let's say it's like a tower, right? You have to climb, and there's like 20 levels, and you need gear from the extraction mode to successfully complete the 20 level tower or something like that, and you like get something, you get like rewards from doing the tower or something as well. I don't know. I'm just trying to make up ideas. I'm trying to come up with a way that this is interesting. you know I don't know, like, does that sound interesting conceptually to you?
Yes and no. I don't know. Maybe I just don't like extraction shooters, bro. I just think they're
Maybe
fucking
not. I mean, you
yeah.
might not. Yeah, you might
Yeah,
not.
maybe I'm just not into I the first I think and maybe this is what you said. Um I think the best iteration of an extraction shooter is if like I can take that and apply it to something else.
Yeah,
Like you said, the PvE aspect of it. So
yeah.
I like maybe I just want the division, bro. That's all I want. That's all I want. I
No,
think.
and
I
that's
just
why it worked in the division, because there was a PvE aspect of it. You took the gear you got out of the dark zone, and it literally made your character better in the rest of the game.
yeah,
And it
yeah.
was like that was the best way to get that high level gear, or it was one of the best ways,
Yeah, and
to
maybe
get that high level gear.
maybe that's just what I want. If Titanfall did that, I think that would be way better.
Yeah, yeah,
Or if like Escape from Tarkov did that, I think that would be way better. But they don't have that aspect. They just have the dark zone, and that's it. And
yeah,
different maps you can explore. But it's
yeah.
like, yeah, what else can I do outside these maps? Nothing. Like, all right, cool.
No,
I don't
I
know.
I think the loop of like going in, playing, extracting, so that you can go in with gear, I guess, to extract it more. It just like, it seems it's literally a loop into itself. It doesn't make
Yeah,
sense. Like,
it doesn't.
you know,
It doesn't
like
make sense at all.
like games aren't really like that. There's always like some kind of progression you're doing. And that's my point. I think somebody hasn't unlocked what the right form of this is yet. And maybe Bungie's the one to do it. I don't know. Like, Tarkov sounds stupid if you're fucking resetting every 2 months. Like, what is the fucking point of even playing the game? You know, if you're just gonna reset like, imagine if you played a fucking MMO, and you leveled your character to 100 and like, or whatever the max level is, and you fucking got reset after 2 months. It's like,
I don't know if it's every 2 months. It's I think it's an
I don't
extended
care what
amount
the
of time.
time interval is. I don't give a shit what the time interval is. Like, resetting it all stupid. It sucks. That sucks. That means your game fundamentally doesn't have long-term viability. You have to force the viability like by resetting everybody every few months. Like, it's dumb.
Yeah,
It's a similar concept in like ARPGs too, where they do those like seasons or whatever, like Diablo and PoE do that shit. I hate that shit, where they're like, you have to start over from zero every season and fucking make a new character and level. It's like, bro, no, I want the one character I have, and I want to make that character as good as possible. It's
hmm
like that's what I want to do in an RPG, and it's like those games, like, yeah, you can technically do that, but you're not doing it with the newest season's shit, every season. It's like, so I don't know. I don't like resets. I think they're toxic in games, but whatever. All right. Well, it wasn't long. It didn't seem like it was in development for very long, so I don't think we're losing a lot here. But I will say these companies though are just like, it's just fucking, dude, like, how much money are these companies sink into games and then they just cancel them? It's like, what a fucking waste. This is why Microsoft's having to charge more for the goddamn console, because they can't get games out, and actually sell them.
yeah,
Um, it's like, and it's like, to your point initially, that's not our fault. Don't pass that on to us. It's like, that's such bullshit at the end of the day. But whatever. All right, let's move on to our final story, which is Borderlands 4. There was a state of play 20-minute deep dive this week, and they announced, Gearbox did, that the game is actually coming out sooner than was announced. It is now coming on September 12th, instead of, I think it was coming on the 23rd initially. Yeah, they did this gameplay deep dive. They kind of took us through like a brief mission, showed some of the weapons and some of the systems they changed in the game, new movement tech they added to the game as well. And yeah, so Montreal, you said you hadn't had time to like look at this really. I ended up watching the whole thing, and I will say that I am more intrigued than I was upon the initial
Mm,
trailer reveal. Um, they seem
interesting.
they seem to have taken the feedback from 3 and listened to some degree. The zaniness from 3 and even 2 to a degree, they said they're kind of going to a more grounded approach with storytelling, which I think is actually a very good thing for Borderlands, because it had just gotten like kooky, weird, meta, memey bullshit with 3, and I can't stand that game. I hate everything about that game. Um, and the movement tech they added looks pretty cool. There's like grapples and stuff now.
Yeah,
You can double jump. There's like a glide as well. You can kind of like hold a glide in the air and stuff.
yeah. I did
As
watch
well.
it on mute while we were talking. I did watch it on mute, but
Yeah,
yeah, the movement stuff did look really cool.
yeah,
Some of the
yeah.
guns look really cool as well.
Well, yeah, so that was one of the big things is now, so in Borderlands generally weapons have a manufacturer. So they'll be made by like TDR or Hyperion or something. And those weapons have specific attributes based on that manufacturer. So for instance, like a TDR weapon, when you reload it, you just throw the weapon at somebody and it explodes and a new one like materializes in your hand. Like you don't actually reload a magazine. you know what they're doing in this game is there will be specific parts of every weapon, and they will be able to spawn with multiple different manufacturers for each part. So you might have a weapon that has a TDR elements to it with Hyperion elements as well, with like Vladoff elements also. Like you'll have all 3 of those in one gun. um so that's a change. They said they got rid of artifacts as well, and they are changing it to which is one of the equipment items that you used to be able to get, and it's going to be some kind of like weapon enhancer or something that you'll be able to use instead, that you'll be able to put on your weapons and stuff. So that's interesting. I don't know how I feel about that quite yet, but I guess we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, mobility looks good. I'm actually kind of excited about that more than anything, because Borderlands has always been a very stapled to the ground type of shooter. You don't have a lot of mobility generally, like movement, like jumping. You don't jump very high. You can't double jump. Certain characters have movement stuff in their kits, but not all of them do. So you'll feel pretty slow in some of the older games, a lot of the time. And yeah, I don't know. I think the 2 characters they showed too, the Siren, and then there was some guy, I don't remember the fucking name of the character, but he's wearing like a kind of like a power suit almost. And he has these like, you like pulled out these like dual like fucking sword blades or whatever, as part of his like special abilities. And he actually looked pretty cool. So I'm kind of excited about the Vault Hunters, which was one of my big problems with 3 as well. None of them were fun to play or interesting really. That was one of the biggest misses with 3, and so far these 2 that they've shown, I'm a little more intrigued by. The only thing I'm a little, they didn't talk about enough, and this isn't, we're really not going to know this till the game comes out probably, is the way they balanced damage from weapons and abilities. Because I talked about this when 3 came out, was one of my biggest issues with that game was that abilities, the game felt like it was driven by gunplay more than ability play in 3, and I thought that was a huge mistake, because 2 was the complete opposite. Everything surrounded was centered around your action skill on each Vault Hunter, and that's why the game was fun, because every Vault Hunter played significantly differently because their action skills were all different. Whereas with 3, it was more gunplay oriented, so it was really about the guns you had more than anything, and that made everybody, to me, feel kind of homogenized in the way they played, for the most part, at least with the ones I played, and I didn't enjoy that very much. So I'm hoping with 3 it's more in line with the way 2 was, and that is not clear from today's presentation to me personally. But I will say I am intrigued enough by what they're doing here, though, that I may give the game a chance when it comes out. I mean, if this game is good, honestly, I think this would be a really fun co-op game for us. We've never actually played Borderlands together, really, beyond like a couple hours, and I think for our group, like this could be a really fun game to play through. But one other thing they mentioned too was actually item rarity. This was an interesting thing. I guess this was an issue in 3. I don't really remember it personally, but I guess this is feedback they got from the community. They are lowering legendary weapon drop rates in this game because they were dropping too often in 3. And basically, and I felt this way. I feel this way about Diablo, actually, like Diablo 4 and 3 is, they basically said that when you get a legendary, it doesn't feel special because it happens all the time, you know?
Yeah.
And so they're lowering drop rates of those in general. They're going to be harder to obtain. So that actually could be a positive change depending on how significant that is. So, and they're going to make so that inherently means lower rarity weapons are going to be more valuable inherently because you're going to have to use them more often than not because
Yeah.
legendaries are hard to get. So, so it could be a positive thing for the entire kind of loot um experience for the game as well. So I don't know. I think it looks good. The mission they showed, it was kind of down to earth. It didn't seem super exciting necessarily, but I actually think that's kind of a positive thing to take out of this for me. That there wasn't like these obnoxious villains screaming at you the entire time, talking about their fucking fans and shit, like their streamers and shit. It's like it was, I'm glad we're away from that. So I don't know. What about you, Montreal? You have any interest based on what I'm talking about here and what you're seeing?
Yeah, it looks okay. I just gotta play it. I don't know.
Hmm.
Sometimes Borderlands 2 or 3 really like kind of turn me off. I played Borderlands 2 and 1 by
Yeah,
myself a long
yeah,
time ago.
same.
But yeah, 3 I just wasn't really interested in 3 at all. So, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I mean, two rules, right? Like, I have a love hate relationship with 2, but I still think largely, like, I mean, it is by far the high point of the series.
Yeah.
Um, I don't even think it's close. So, we'll see what they can do here. Gameplay wise, they might be able to eclipse 2 because I mean, 2 definitely feels like an old game at this point. I would say, in the way it plays, but story wise, 2 was probably the peak of the series as well, in terms of narrative and everything. So yeah, I don't know. September 12th, it's coming soon. 4 months out, and game looks good to me. So we'll see. We'll see if I end up playing it. All right, Montreal. That's it for news. One more segment today. We got a couple guess the meta scores that we're gonna do. For the month of May, we got Doom: The Dark Ages coming up, and Elden Ring: Night Rain at the end of the month. So, do you want to start with Doom and what do you think this game's gonna get?
I'm actually gonna go pretty high on this one. I think it's gonna get like a 9.1.
9.1. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. I agree with you. Actually, should I Prices Right you?
Shit, I don't care.
I'm gonna go 9.2.
All right.
Giving you a lot of real estate below, but all right, Elden Ring Night Rain. So this one I'm a little more wishy-washy on. I don't know. I don't know how people are going to react to this game. Like, I feel like there's a decent chance that people fucking hate it, as much as they love it. But the FromSoft cock guzzlers are real and they are always out in force. So I don't know. It's like it's one of those things I feel like could really go either way. So
I mean,
given that, I'm
I'll
gonna
go first if you
hedge.
want me to.
No. I'm gonna hedge. I'm gonna say
Okay.
8 point. I'm gonna say 8.3.
Okay. I was gonna go about 8.5,
Okay.
but I think I'm gonna
No,
go.
take it. Take it.
No, I think I'm gonna go 8 or just 8 in general. The
Oh,
reason I'm
8.
gonna go
Okay.
8, yeah, the reason I'm gonna go
Interesting.
8 is because is because this game is reminding me of Sekiro, not in the way it plays or anything like that. The
Yeah.
main driving factor, the reason why people don't consider Sekiro the greatest from software games is because they didn't have their own builds. That's literally it. Every time I hear someone or I read a comment about Sekiro, it's because they couldn't play the game they wanted to play it the way they wanted to play it. The game forced you to play it the way it was meant to be played. There are no builds, and now you're slapping
That's why
Elden.
the game is good. The game would be broken if you like the game
I
fundamentally wouldn't work if that was the way it worked. Like it would be a
I
different game.
Justin, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I think
Yeah.
people really don't understand what Sekiro was.
Yeah.
It's an action game.
It is one of the tightest action games that has ever been created.
Yes, and they don't understand that. They
Yeah.
think Dark Souls. They think
Yeah.
no, even Bloodborne to an extent I think was a really good mixture of Sekiro and Dark Souls or like the Soul series in general because you can have a build, but it was also a pure action game in that sense as well.
I need to
Which is
play
probably why
Bloodborne.
yeah, which is why probably a lot of people like that game.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Elden Ring Night Rain takes all that shit out the water that people are used to in Elden Ring. You can't make a build. You just have to play what's there.
Yeah, it's like a
And on top,
loadout, right? Like
yeah,
you
it's a
just pick a
loadout.
loadout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just pick a loadout and then you just go. You jump in, and I, I I can see a lot of people getting upset by it. I mean, you have a choice in like when you beat a boss, you can choose a power up, so it's almost like a roguelite in that sense, right? Uh, uh, like
Yeah.
one of those vampire survivor type games.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like that. There's no real build in that, in a sense. Like, when I watched like somebody play it for, they played it for like 3 or 4 hours, because From Software flew them out and everything. And he
Mhm.
was like, "Yeah, there's no build you can do or anything like that. Maybe there's some kind of cheesy stuff you can do, but like, yeah, I can definitely see people getting very very upset by the fact that you just cannot manipulate your build at all.
Hmm.
I think the actual build, which he didn't even mention this, but I thought about it when he was talking about it. The actual build is going to be the team that you acquire, the team
Yeah.
that you assemble. That's going to be your build. How are you going to use, this, maybe this fencer with this necromancer and this fucking,
Hmm.
guardian tank guy or whatever, or you got this rogue over here and then you got some other class or some necromancer class and then some other kind of archer class or something like that. Like I
Yeah.
think those are going to be the builds and how to tackle certain things and certain objectives faster than others and stuff like that.
Mm, mhm.
And
Yeah.
I think like Sekiro, people are not going to get it initially, and they're going to write off the game as like one of the worst
Yeah.
games ever or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see. I'll be very curious. I'm actually really curious about this one, like how it does.
Yeah, I
Because
think like you said, like From Software people are uh they are cock glazers for From Software.
guzzlers, glazers. Sure,
No,
I
they
guess that
glazers,
works.
bro.
That works too. That works
Oh,
too.
they glaze it. All right, that's what they do. They glaze it. They are some cock glazers, bro.
yeah.
Primo glazers.
Yeah.
Uh, but uh when they don't like a game or when it doesn't conform to what they think a From Software game is, they instantly hate it. And I think Sekiro, the simple fact that if I say Sekiro is better than like Elden Ring, people are like,
Yeah.
blasphemy. What are you saying? And I'm like, I think it's better. I still think it's better. I beat Elden Ring. And I think Elden Ring is like the best Souls game. I don't think it's the best From Software game they ever made. I think that's title
Hmm.
still goes to Sekiro.
Hmm.
And people just don't understand it. They can't wrap it around their heads. Why? You can explain it like the way you explained it. Like it's meant to be played a certain way, and it's one of the tightest games you ever played. It has a rhythm to it. It has a flow to it, and it has exploration. It has everything an action game needs.
Yeah.
Um, and they just don't get it. So
I
I
think
think
the reality with those people is they just weren't good enough to beat it, bro. Straight up. And they're mad about that.
yeah, I 100% agree with that. I normally
Yeah.
don't say stuff like that, but I
No, I think
100%
in this
agree with
case
that.
that's what it is, dude. Like I really do.
Like I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
And I think Night Rain is going to be the same thing. I
Yeah.
think it's going to give him a little bit more leeway because it is going to be the Elden Ring style.
Yeah.
But there are going to be certain people, like there is going to be a build for everyone, I think. And I think they're gonna release more builds, like through DLC or updates, title updates and stuff like that. Um, so I don't think it's gonna get as much flack, but there are still gonna be people who are like, "Man, I wish I can do like a fucking mage rogue build or whatever." And it's like, shut the fuck up and play the game, bitch. Like, I don't know. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I come from an action game background, so it's like,
No, I agree with you, dude. Like you can't
like
there's no build in God of War, bro.
yeah,
Like you
I was just about to bring up Kratos. Like,
fuck,
I just
man.
had to
Like
brute force myself through
yeah,
Kratos'
dude.
shit. Like,
Yeah, man. Like yeah, okay, sure. You can use different weapons, I guess, and like that might be your
ooh, attribute.
build.
Like, shut up,
But dude,
nerd.
yeah, shut up, nerd. Just use the blades of chaos. They're better than anything else in the fucking game. Like that's the meta. That's the meta. Like don't use the stupid sword or the fists or whatever in the third game. Like fuck that shit. Blades of chaos is the only thing you need, you know.
Yeah,
So and it's like yeah, within that, even within a weapon, there's not a build, right? Like you're just improving aspects of the weapon, partially, and it's like so I don't know. It's an action game. It's an action game, bro, and that's how those games play. It's I don't know, like these. This is my thing. I think this. Yeah, it's like the Dark Souls fans. It's funny actually to see that in like a Dark Souls fan where they're like these elitist assholes, but they're like fake elitist assholes because yeah, if you couldn't beat Sekiro, like you're a fucking fraud, dude. Like you're the type of person who plays Dark Souls and you go grind until you're over leveled to fight bosses. Like you're that guy, and it's like that's fine. That's part of the design of the game. That's not a
yeah,
problem.
that's
But don't
part.
act like you're
So,
hard, dude. Like you're not. you know.
yeah, like
So
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, it's almost like how I hear people talk about Monster Hunter games. Um, Especially when I hear people talk about who haven't played the older games, how they talk about Monster Hunter games or whatever. Um,
yeah. Uh huh.
and uh, yeah, I will probably fucking admit it. I am a Monster Hunter. Like you put in that text message, I meant to
Yeah.
respond to you,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
was like busy doing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
um,
We'll talk about it now. This is fine. This
yeah,
is perfect. Yeah.
yeah. I am a Monster Hunter elitist as well. I think there are certain aspects of Monster Hunter that I absolutely fucking hate, and I think that's okay. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I will be that guy. And I think Wilds, it's way too easy. I
Yeah. I agree.
it is.
Well, it's too fast too. Like you kill monsters too quickly. Like there's no push and pull in a monster fight in base wilds. Like it's just, dude, it's over in 3 minutes or 4 minutes or 5 minutes. It's like
Yeah,
it's so
they don't push your build to the next level. Like
no, dude.
Rise
I
did
don't.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
World did that, in my opinion.
No, I
Uh,
would measure. I would. You know how I measured the difficulty of a monster back in the day because like this was actually a legitimate measurement tool. Is how many potions I used because
yeah,
you couldn't actually just go like I guess you could go back to camp and refill your potions, but like if I couldn't beat a hunt with the 10 potions and mega potions that you could have in your inventory, like that was a truly hard monster,
yeah,
um and how many potions I used kind of determined how hard the fight was for me because that's literally you taking damage, and healing it,
yeah,
and in wilds the fights are over so fast that that's not even a measurement tool because I might use 2 potions because I killed the monster in 3 minutes, it's like it's not even it's to the point that I'm gonna be honest, this is actually a big issue I have with the game right now, and I really hope Master Rank fixes this. Is you can kind of just unga bunga, because the monsters die so fast. No, I'm not even kidding. Like dude, when I remember when I told you guys I killed an Odog, like a Guardian Odogaron, and like Odogaron, whatever the fuck it's called, in like I think it was 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And that's the fastest I've ever killed a monster of that level, I guess. And like when I think back to that hunt, dude, I was just spamming combos. I was not trying to dodge. I was dodging and I wasn't taking a lot of damage. Like I know how to fight the monster well, but even when when it was about to hit me, I didn't care because I knew the thing was going to die in like 30 seconds. What does it matter, you know?
I will
I
say
don't need to
too that,
potion. I don't need to manage my potions. I don't need to manage anything. Like I just go in there and I kill it, you know? It's like
and I will
I
say
don't know.
too, dual blades are like broken as fuck in this game.
They're really
Uh,
strong in
Especially
wilds. They are.
the paralysis, dual blades,
Yeah.
they're fucking broken. But
Yeah.
no, I agree. Like, I don't know. It took certain builds. Like when I watch you, I used to watch speed runs of like,
Yeah.
especially like Monster Hunter generations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they'll kill the monster like 2 to 5 minutes or something like that. Like it was impressive because they had to dodge and
Yeah.
they wouldn't get hit or whatever, and they had to dodge certain hits or whatever the case may be. And I thought it was like thoroughly impressive because then they'll show their build at the end, and it's like these uber builds that they have to grind for. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, like
Right.
I don't like grinding for hours, but like it is something to that to where I get that one gem that I need, or I get those couple gems that I need to make my perfect fucking build. And I'm going against like a fucking G rank, arch tempered, whatever the fuck, and I beat it in like 5 minutes when it's like it took me 20 to 30 minutes to beat it before. Like
Yeah.
that's you mastering the game. Like, and like granted too, right? We are better at the game. Me and you have been playing the game for 10 to
Yeah.
15 years now. So
Right.
we're just naturally good at the game. To
Yeah.
where other people, they're like, man, this game's hard, man. I can't believe that fucking uh Arkville was fucking me up, dude. And it's like, whatever, man. Like he fucked me up a couple of times. That's because I was
I
genuinely
mean, it
playing like a
happens. It
dumbass.
happens to us too. But it's like the thing is, I don't consider it hard.
Yeah,
Like I'm
yeah.
like when we're dying, like I'm not taking the hunt that seriously when we're fighting the tempered Arkveld, dude. Like, because I'm not worried about failing the quests, you know. Like, so it's like you get a little careless sometimes, but I didn't do that in old Monster Hunter games, you know. It's like even dude, I'm thinking about World like Iceborne, man. Like when I was solo hunting, like it
Well,
wasn't easy to
because
solo hunt in that game. Like there were some monsters you would fight. Like, dude, trying to fight a Val Hazak by yourself was a fucking nightmare, dude.
or fucking
Um,
Rajang, bro. Fuck that.
yeah,
Like,
Rajang or the fucking Elder Dragon that was in the bubble fucking area, the bubble mountain. I forget what the fuck it was called. Um,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I
the
forgot
water
his
one
name.
though, the one that was like a water elder dragon.
Yeah,
From Iceborne. Like that thing was tough too, dude. Like these are Kieran, dude. Oh my fucking god! Like fighting the fucking Kieran solo in
I used to
Master Race.
fuck that thing up solo, but
Oh
you
my
had a
god!
mental block when it came to that quest.
No, you're a hammer main, bro.
That's
You're a
true.
hammer
Yeah.
main. Hammer's really effective on Kieran. I'm trying to fight it with dual blades, and I'm just bouncing off, dude, with like fucking white sharpness the entire time. Like it's a fucking nightmare, dude. So that's what I mean, though. There's no experience like that in Wilds right now. Like, and Mizusune is not it, and I don't know. Maybe arch tempered fucking Raidao is what I'm looking for, maybe,
Why don't we have
but
arch tempered monsters of every caliber right
everything,
now?
everything. Yeah, why are we drip feeding the arch tempered monsters? I don't really understand that as a concept because they want the game to be a live service game. It's like this is my issue with like modern Monster Hunter right now. It's like they're treating it like a live service game and it shouldn't be. It's like that's never been what it is, and it's just kind of and that's why when I sent you that text, I listened to like a spoiler cast where they were talking about the game or whatever,
Mhm.
and they were new players to the series. Like most of them started, all of them actually. They started with there were four of them. They either started with World, Rise, or Wilds as their first one. So they're
Oh,
modern,
okay.
the more modern games, right? And they were talking about the game, and they dismissed the story outright, out of hand, and said it was trash, right? Which
Hmm.
I understand. You are correct. It pretty much is trash, but
Hmm.
with context, there is some meaning behind some of the things that happen, right? Like, and we have a little, we're kind of Monster Hunter lore nerds a little bit, with it, and they don't have any of that context. They have no idea about any of that stuff. So they just dismiss it
Yeah,
out of hand.
they have no idea how groundbreaking this story was actually for the Monster
For
Hunter universe.
Monster Hunter specifically, it is a big
Yeah.
deal, right? It's not good. I'm not going to sit here and say it was good, but like it is a step. It is a kind of a significant step for the series, though. And But then they were talking about the gameplay and everything, and they were talking about what people are complaining about, like the game being too easy, or there not being enough content in the game, or so the content thing. They were saying that, like, they were talking about the game, like they were doing this thing where they talk about it in general terms, where they were like, if you play a game for 50 hours, you've gotten your money's worth, and it's like, bro, like you're a Monster Hunter noob, okay? You don't get it. So it's like I wanted to like break through my speaker and like be like, well, actually, I just it was making me angry, because like I don't like that people like this are talking about the series, because they don't understand it, and they're the ones setting the narrative, though, Montreal. Like, so this is what Capcom is going to hear, or has been hearing, which is why Wilds is a 40-hour fucking game, whereas Monster Hunter typically is a 75 to 100-hour game, even without master rank, generally speaking. That's usually what Monster Hunter's been in the past. And more recently, they're kind of getting, I'm not going to call it lazy, but they're not making the game as lengthy as it used to be. And there's many reasons for that. Hunts are shorter, they're making drop rates higher, so they're trying to make the game more streamlined for casuals. But for me, it's like, I don't want the game to be super grindy. I don't want to have to fight a Diablos 100 times for a gem. That's not that's not the direction I want the pendulum going necessarily. But I also
I'll fight
don't
him.
want it swinging the other way, where I'm getting it on my first hunt.
Yeah, I
It's
was say
like
I'll fight him. I'll fight him 10 times, 10 to
10
15
or 15
times.
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and that's a happy middle ground, and I don't feel like we're in that middle ground, though. We're on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, where I can literally, like the investigation thing that they have in the game, where I can like click on a monster on my map and wait until one spawns with a gem, and I get a guaranteed gem. And it's like, I don't know. It's kind of taking something away from the game. And the other thing they said that this one pissed me off more than anything was the monster tracking. They're like, oh, do you guys miss the tracking from World? Quote, the tracking from World, where you like picked up footprints or whatever on the map. And they were like, oh no, I'm just happy that it shows up on the map and just tells you where it is. And I'm like, dude, I'm face palming so hard, bro, during this part of the conversation. I was like so mad. I'm like, God, man, these are this is like the modern audience that they're going for, though. This is what they've turned Monster Hunter into. It's like, there was something to Monster Hunter, and I'm not saying paintballs were some revolutionary thing. They were not. It's a simple mechanic, but there was a tone that set with the game, where yes, it's not like realistic tracking of a monster, but there was some responsibility on the player to make sure that it was paintballed before it ran away. If it was about to run away, you recognizing that and actually hitting it with a paintball, or making sure you had one on it at all times, so that you didn't lose track of the monster when it flew away. And you remember this as much as I do. You've played Monster Hunter longer than I have. I'm sure you've had hunts where you fuck that up and the monster flies away, and you spend 10 minutes running around the whole fucking map trying to find this fucking thing. Um, that sounds annoying, but there is like a immersive element to it, like that. It's hard to explain, that I enjoy, and I don't like the fact that the monster is just on my map at all times.
Well, you
Um,
had to manage it. You had to manage
yeah,
that.
yeah,
After 10 minutes, the paintball go away. So if you're fighting a monster for 10 minutes,
mm-hmm,
I had to
mm-hmm,
remember, like, okay, like he could just disappear, and then he
yeah,
starts healing. He starts healing himself because he's resting or whatever the case may be.
yes,
So, uh, I don't know. It was an immersion factor to it. I mean, it was annoying, but it was also an immersion factor. And then you also had skills that can show the monster on the map. I think it was called psycho
oh
analyst or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
That will automatically show the monster on the map. Or if you
yeah,
spawned in, it would be like a blimp every 5 minutes where he was at, or
yeah,
whatever the case may be. So I mean,
yeah,
they had skills revolving around that, and I just think like everybody so in the internet is another in the internet is another big contributing factor, because like all those skills that we had, some of them were useless, but some of them was like Now everyone's like, I want the optimal damage skill. Blah, 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 blah. And it's like no one's trying to make their build for that, right? That was like a
Yeah.
helpful build for someone who had that gems on in the party. And when you join the party, I can tell when they had that on because like the monster just showing up on my map. I'm like, oh my god, this saves me so much fucking time. You have
Yeah.
no idea how much time you just saved me. But
Yeah.
now, like Capcom is like streamline their gym things for like strictly battle. They have some stuff in there that's like, kind of quirky or whatever, but it's not as quirky as it used to be. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of blame the optimization and speed running community for that because they just want optimization and like what's the best gems? I just need my critical eye, bro. I need my critical element, bro. That's all I need. My attack gems, bro. That's it. And it's like, yeah, but what about other builds, bro? Like, I don't know. What about a cool fucking evade build or whatever the case may be?
Yeah.
I don't know. And those gems are in there for you to do, but it just seems like Capcom is like, I think I don't want to say listening too much to the community. This is like opposite of League. They're just listening too much to like the community instead of like actually. I would not be surprised, Justin, if we get a game like the next Monster Hunter that come out in the next 4 years. It's like a complete 180. It goes right back to the roots. It's just like
Yeah.
way better graphics, obviously, and like a better system. But it's just like, yeah, you need a paintball. Yeah, you need all this other shit. It's like hardcore Monster Hunter. Or I wouldn't even be surprised if they do something like that with G Rank. I wouldn't be surprised because the amount of people were saying this game is easy. It's like I disagree with them at first, but then I'm like, bro, this game is fucking easy. Like I don't even feel like playing it. Like I want to go back and play
Yeah.
Rise now. Like
Dude,
I
I
just
was
want.
sitting here. I was like thinking about Rise, but I was thinking about going back to playing like the first Monster Hunter, like that I've never played
Mm.
it, you know,
Oh,
and
but
doing
you don't
something
want to
like
do that.
that.
You don't want to do that.
I know you say that, but it's like, and you're probably right, but dude, it's like I think that is one thing Capcom has done a really poor job of making sure the older games are playable coming
Yeah,
forward. I don't think they view the franchise in a way where there's value in that. I think they feel like every game is better than the last is the way they view it. But I
yeah,
don't I don't think that's true anymore, you know? I think that was true up to World, and like now I'm not sure I feel that way, you know?
yep, I
Um
agree.
like I think if World didn't have the clutch claw, I would probably prefer it to Wilds right now, you know?
Yeah,
Um
I would 100% go back to World if they did not have the clutch claw. Yeah, I would.
yeah. Yeah.
It was just the clutch. Even though we played it and we played it a long time on fucking, we had a system around the wound mechanic and everything. So, um, I did appreciate that. And then like even for, I just don't like the targeting of specific parts on certain monsters. I don't like that how it artificially inflates your hunt. Just make
Well,
the monster
it was
harder.
really awkward too cuz you had to attach yourself to the monster and then it would just be moving normally and it
Yep.
would do an attack and its body would become a hitbox and you would get hit because you're on it, you know.
Yep.
It's like and it didn't feel like it was well fleshed out, like you couldn't hold on or anything like that. So like a Tigrex would start charging and you'd be trying to clutch claw it and it would just do a fuck ton of damage to you because you were trying to fucking clutch claw its hand or something, you know. It's like
Yeah.
it didn't feel, it felt really clunky because of shit like that. So I don't know. It's weird. Like, you know, yeah, I'm realizing that I think I am a Monster Hunter elitist, and it's like, you know, I love the idea that the series is popular now. Like, don't get me wrong, I really do, but at the same time, it's not the same game I fell in love with back in the day, like 12 years ago, I guess now, when Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate came out. It's not the same, you know. And part of me like wants to go, that's like I said, I want to go back to like the older games and like maybe play some of the ones I didn't play, or fuck, like play through 4 again or something, you know. Try something like that because like I'm missing some of those old elements to Monster Hunter. I really am. I think the series is become too streamlined, like it's too streamlined, and um it's a bummer because it's one of my favorite franchises, you know. And I think we'll be fine when Master Rank comes out, or G Rank, whatever we want to call it. I have a feeling we'll probably fall in love with the game at that point, the way we did with Iceborne. Um, But that really depends, though, dude. Because there's a real like there's a good number of monsters in the game, but I don't think there's like no elder dragons right now, and obviously I don't you don't necessarily need elder dragons to make Monster Hunter fucking fun, but it's a huge part of the end game in Monster Hunter, in my opinion. And the fact that there's literally one, I think it's Zoshia is the only one that's like an elder dragon in the game. That's another part of the reason why I think the game it feels easy is you don't have any of those like more difficult monsters in the game. So I don't know. It's and it's just it became like the sheer number of monsters that Iceborne ended up having at the end of the day was significant, you know. And I hope Wilds can get up there eventually. But it's just right now it just feels like all you're doing is hunting Arkveld. Like that's the game, you know. And I will tell you after hunting that thing 10 or 15 times, I'm already sick of it. So
Yep.
that's why when Andy's like, yeah, you guys gonna come back for the Blossom Festival, I'm like, yeah, good, bro. It's kind of a waste of my time, you know. Because I mean, you're not getting anything out of it that has any permanence. You know, it's all gonna be replaced when G rank comes out. So
Yeah, I agree.
yep. All right. We'll see. I mean, they'll have more updates, so we'll keep monitoring that game for sure. But I'm sure we'll go back to it. We will definitely go back to it when G rank comes out. So very little question about that. All right, Montrell, anything else you want to talk about before we head out today?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, please like the show, review the show, and subscribe to the show on whatever feed you're listening to it on. And please subscribe to us on YouTube. If you'd like to interact with us on Twitter and ask us any questions, you can do so at The Player's Take, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. And that'll be it for us, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you next week. Bye.